Mm.
What up?
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome.
I misses your faces.
I know. I mean, like we've been missing in action for a couple weeks now.
Yes, we
Yeah,
and for good reason, y'all. For good
yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Gypsy was taking time to be with family and loved ones, and then last week I just y'all, your girl was
She
down.
didn't feel good. Your girl didn't feel good.
Your girl was down. I had done broke
But
3 nails and had a migraine and
while she didn't feel good, hell, I had to recover, honey. I had some cousins from the left coast come over. And some of them from the Chi-Town because
Ooh.
we had the memorial for my dad, and they all stayed at the house. When I tell you, I ain't sleep from Thursday until the last person left on Thursday the next week.
And that's how it
I
be when you get with your
was
people and it's time to just let it go and release and woosah. Listen, sometimes
yeah,
hey, it be like that. What's up,
yeah.
Sean? How you be? I misses your face.
I mean, I'm alright. How y'all doing?
Can't
We
complain,
was
can't
wondering where you gonna
complain.
show up, player.
No,
I wasn't gonna call
I'm
you out
here.
like that.
I
I'm
was.
here. I know it took me a minute to get on. I was having some technical difficulties, but I'm here.
Oh, you was trying to fix your drink.
No, that was already. It was already done. It really was technical difficulties.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, you know what I
Yeah.
discovered, Sean?
What's
Mm.
So
that?
I went to Total Wine,
Uh huh.
and they have these dehydrated like lemons, limes,
Mhm.
garnish, right?
All the
So
garnishments, yeah.
yeah, so I have a Bartesian. So I showed the cousins how to use it one time. But then every time I would come outside, I have like pre-drink, like this, right? And they said, "Why your drink look like that? Our drinks don't look like that." I said, "Well, you didn't get none of the garnish that's on the thing. Y'all just want liquor. Is that what it is?" They was like, "You make your drinks look all pretty like we at the bar for real." I was like,
Cause
"And
what?
you
That's how we
too,
do.
and you too could have a pretty drink if you take your time and put some of the little garnishments on your drink." They were like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. And I we shout out to Jay. Jay helped me a lot, y'all. We streamed on the channel.
Cause I
For,
love of you.
yeah, I had some relatives that couldn't make it, so we streamed on the channel. And the first thing that everyone asked me, Jay, is how'd you get the honor guard to come to your house? I told them this is where it was gonna be.
Cause that's what you do. Right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So it was I think
Because
it
you
was
handle business, sis. It was about honoring dad, and he was that
Mhm.
dude, and you handle a business. Tell him that's how we do it. I mean,
Yep.
this
And
what it is.
not to be morbid, but I'm a veteran also. So I did try to, get the information and start filling out paperwork for myself so that my son
As you
only have
should.
to turn it in, right? So there's a plaque that's gonna be made for my dad. And so I said, hey, by the way, I am a veteran also because they had to call me to verify some information or whatever. And I said, but I want to be buried at sea. And he said, oh, well, if you get buried at sea, your family will get the flag, but they won't get the plaque. So,
Oh,
so wait, last night, now Monte says I'm stupid because he said, who thinks like that? I said, then what you gonna do? You go get on the Carnival cruise and throw me off the smoking deck.
But for real though, because I've already made it known in my inner circle when I die, don't fuck with me because I'll come back and haunt everybody. I want to be cremated. Take my ashes on somebody's boat. If you can't get on the cruise, take them on somebody's boat and take me out to sea and scatter me.
Yep.
Don't have me on your fireplace talking about she gone. And don't
Right.
let nobody silly ass get up talking about she was amazing and I loved her and blah, blah, blah. And we didn't fucking speak because I will come slap everybody. Like them. You have to have these conversations though, because this is why people be fighting over money and assets and jewelry and wills, and this is why everybody be talking about somebody stealing and whatever bullshit, because people are afraid to talk about it. No,
But
you
wait,
right.
You know what else is funny is like my cousin Rashad. I love my cousin Rashad. They're all from Chicago originally, but they live all over the place. But he lives in Florida now. And he was like, you know, my dad was one of his favorite great uncles. And he was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna go on and go get back in the back because you know I get to rambling this. I get to fucking rambling this shit. Then he said, "Oh shit, my bad." I mean, yeah, right. And so we was just like, okay, only Rashad.
I edited that part out at the end, just so you know.
But just so yeah, because you know the thing is though, is I think we need to go to, like you said, memorials where people tell the truth about the person. No, they weren't perfect. My dad wasn't perfect, but I loved him.
I mean, they can get up and talk about me and say she was mean as hell. She was moody. I will own it. I'd be like, and I was. But I was also loving and kind and caring, you know.
And we give you the shirt off your back, you know. But that's the thing. But the thing is once you cross me, is it.
Yeah.
Same like Sean. Like, look at Sean face. Sean, you know what's so funny is one of my girlfriends, my good girlfriends down in Atlanta, she watched it. And she said, she laughed. She said, I laughed, I cried, and she said, makes me wonder what folks gonna say about me. I said, I don't give a shit.
Oh, well, that's why I said I'm still going through and editing a few pieces out. And that little snippet at the end, I edited that out, you know, so the people that catch the replay ain't got it's gonna be all good. We good. But for real though, and this ties into tonight's topic about access, because
right.
I think that I don't remember who I was talking to.
It was me and you talking when we was talking about people who don't deserve. Yep.
Yes, because
how
of
people
autonomy.
Like the block. Yep.
Right, autonomy, right? But we are raised in our culture as Black people that we got to respect our elders. We have to hug people. We have to sit on their laps, right? We got to go get the candy from them or go get the present from them. We got to go over so-and-so house. We got to do all this shit to respect our elders. We have to sit at the table with people that molested somebody and everybody in the family know, but don't nobody talk about it. We got to sit at the table and look at people who don't fucking like each other and don't even speak to each other, all because of respect and religion. And you know, and so I don't think that we grow up understanding autonomy. I don't think we grow up understanding personal boundaries and space. So as you date, as you get into relationships, as you engage in your career, in the personal and the professional spaces in your office, like we feel like everybody deserves access, or they can fuck us over and we got to forgive them and let them come back. No, I believe forgiveness does not necessarily mean access.
It does not.
Forgiveness means I choose freedom and I still choose not to deal with you, family or not. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, that's the same thing with baby daddies. They be showing up at their baby mama house thinking that they still got access because she got their kid. No, you got access to your kid. Coochie off limits.
Yeah. Okay. That too.
What, Sean? Why are you shaking your head? I'm serious.
That too.
It's because of the things that y'all putting out there. I mean, I understand exactly where y'all coming crumb. But you gotta look at the flip side of it too,
We listening.
because how many of those baby mamas is mad that he done moved on and went somewhere else and still give him the coochie, as you say,
Well, it
just
wasn't a
because.
we because I didn't say it,
No, no,
but
no, 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 no. I didn't say as
I
y'all
mean,
said. I said as you said. Okay, so let
right.
me
Okay.
clarify. As you said, Gypsy. Let me
Mm-hmm.
clarify.
You
All
right.
right, but
because I ain't got no babies to be fighting with a baby
I
daddy.
mean, I understand. I understand that. I'm just saying it's a lot of them out there that still give him
Mhm.
all the access, knowing that he got somebody else, but still because they so hurt that he, moved on for whatever reason. Although they
Right.
could have been toxic as hell together, but
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
the one that said, "Fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna move on because this ain't good and this ain't gonna create a great environment for our kids." But then, as soon as he come through and he ain't got his new boo with him, she trying to break him off a little something to keep him wrapped up.
Hmm.
okay.
I mean, so you gotta look at the whole thing. You can't just look at it from that one side because trust me, yeah, from that one side it happens where cats still feel like that's my baby mama and I should always have access to her no matter what. And I don't want no other dudes around my kids, all that bullshit. But then they the same cat that want to have a new woman but still want access to their baby mama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And it goes both ways, or vice
yeah,
versa, as we like to say.
vice versa. Okay.
Uh-huh. So it's every situation is its own situation, but you gotta look at the broader picture. It's not just one that's just doing it all the time.
This is true.
It takes two to tango.
And anybody that circles the block and thinks that, well, basically they went out there in the streets, they found out wasn't nothing in the streets, came back, and then they're like, yeah, yeah, because I want you now. What?
But I don't. So
No,
let's broaden the conversation though, because I don't think it's just about like bitter baby daddies or bitter baby mamas or
mm-mm,
exes.
it's
Like this,
not
this, this is a conversation that encompasses your entire life, right? This could be
family.
somebody in your workspace. This could be somebody in your personal space, like a family member or an ex bestie or a neighbor. This could be anybody in your sphere that you have to engage with. And I think we have to be so mindful that, like I said, for me, I'm hyper aware because I have to have this conversation all the time with clients that we don't grow up being taught autonomy for most of us. We are taught that our personal boundaries don't matter. Like, I don't care how you feel, go sit on their lap and get that candy. I don't care how you feel, go give them a hug. I don't care that you don't feel comfortable with them, go say hi. So we're constantly taught to override our own internal safety mechanism.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And so by the time we're in adulthood, it's like we out here just hugging everybody and doing everything, feeling like we owe that to people, and we don't. We don't.
But that in itself is bad. Parenting is bad. Child rearing. If you know you have X, Y, and Z going on, trust me, I'm not gonna have this person around the children. They know I don't care who they are. Like I know what you do. You can't come up around this space.
And I'm with you. I've ended a relationship before because I was dating somebody and we were talking about, growing forward and possible marriage and kids. And there was a known molester that he told me about in his family. And I said, so if we have kids, because it was an uncle of somebody that was
Oh,
always around
wow.
the family. I said, so if we have kids, how that work? And he was like, well, I'll
Right.
still take them to my mama house and they'll spend time with their cousins. I know you fucking lying because I will burn all y'all shit down before you
Right.
expect me to let any baby that I birth go to somebody's house where y'all know he was fucking with children. Well, he don't do it no more. We be keeping out. I don't give a fuck. What do you walked away? Because my boundaries are hard. Like no. But that's the problem. We have people that don't know how to say no. So we got people that's letting their kids go over somebody's house. You know, we got people that st- I see it all the time in dating. We have women that will go out with guys because the guy likes them, but they don't like the guy. But you feel the pressure of, well, he likes me, I got to give him a chance, right? We have men that don't like women and will go out with them because they like, I throw Shawty a pity hug or a pity date or whatever. And then you get caught up because now she want a second date or he want a second date. So now you look up 6 months later, you still hanging with this person that you really don't like. Or in a relationship, somebody has hurt you. In a friendship, somebody has hurt you. And you forgave them. And every time you look at them, you feel that hurt and that pain, and you're still spending time with them. Like, that's crazy work and diabolical, as the kids today like to say. You're traumatizing yourself over and over again for no reason, because we are not being taught the power of no. We're not being taught the power of autonomy. And even in workspaces, how many people hang out with coworkers that they can't stand?
Not me.
Because they feel like they
Not
got
me.
to.
Not me. Don't ask me to go to lunch. I don't go to lunch.
Don't you gotta eat? No. Not with you.
Nope. I mean, and the other thing that people forget too is that some people say yes because they're afraid for safety reasons. They say yes, right? And then they get roped into saying yes continually because now they're really afraid of saying no.
So if we follow that thread, doesn't that go to great? Y'all know what I'm saying, but for the algorithms.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that so many times, and to me, I couldn't believe it, but that's because I'm a man from my point of view. But even as a man, you can still get taken advantage of. And you just try to be a nice guy, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, and but for women, it is more of a safety thing. Like, they don't want to put themselves in a position where this man is going to do something to them, which would be possibly worse than them just saying yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally crazy, because it just should not be that way at all. But unfortunately, that's the way shit is. So you gotta be careful. But at the same time, yeah, if it's a no, it's a no. Don't go along, and then because that makes the problem worse.
But that's the thing, is you have men that'll flip out when you say that you don't want to give them your phone number. So
I understand that, but I'd rather that happen than you be scared and give me your phone number, then you be scared you're going to date on, then you be scared and you give them yourself, and next thing you know, you all caught up just because you scared because you didn't want this man to hurt you.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up the comments real quick. Archives in Motion said, "J-Bay looking good. Has she been doing natural juices and good skincare?" And yes, I have. Thank you so much.
Natural juices and berries.
Juices and berries. And then on the real, y'all hitting a good point on that access to children. Yeah. And I keep bringing that up because we overlook it, but that is where the foundation starts. When you are taught, because I can use myself as an example, which is I kind of went to the extreme for a long time, right? Because when I was little, I'm an introvert. So when I was little, I was introverted and I was shy. It was overwhelming. My grandmother used to be really heavy in the church, and they were always doing the meetings and all the stuff. And so they had meetings at the house. So, all the family come over. And I was the only child. Only children handle public and groups different, right?
Right.
And so I remember being that little 4 and 5 year old, and I would, when everybody would start coming in the house, I would immediately stop what I was doing, stop playing with my toys, and go into the back bedroom because I didn't want to be bothered. And they would come get me and be like, "Well, go say hi to whoever, and they got a present for you." And I would tell them, "I don't want it. I don't. You don't want the present?" No, because I didn't. It was just too much energy, and I didn't have the words or the vocabulary or the understanding to explain it, right? So I just feel like, I don't want it. No, thank you. Can I go back? And they would make me go out there and hug people and all these strangers, and so as I grew older, and then because I developed really fast, I mean, I have the same body that I pretty much have had since I was 14. I'm a little fluffier now, but for context, pretty much the same shape. So you get all that extra attention that you don't want. And so I ended up being hyper vigilant of no hardcore boundaries. And that's why I started studying it and really trying to understand the psyche of what, the person, the people, the dynamics of why this happens, and really having that conversation with women, especially because what I hear a lot of time from my guys, my men friends, my male clients, they deal with it and there's abuse, right? We understand this. It happens across the board. But when there's no abuse, a lot of times it's because they know how to be like, I don't fucking want to, whether they 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if there is abuse, it's more normalized of, oh, you the man, you a pimp now, instead of looking at a child being taken advantage of. So it's still a different lens put on it. So when they grow into adulthood, and not trying to get too deep, but we got to get a little deep to understand why this happens and how to change it in our culture, in our community. You know what I'm saying? It starts in childhood and it continues because we don't have these conversations and we don't talk about boundaries and self-care and safety. We don't have these conversations. And then if you add the layer of Christianity on top and you're taught forgiveness and religion as the overall foundation, then you're taught you got to forgive and keep turning the other cheek so they can keep slapping the fuck out of you and keep hurting you, and you got to still spend time with them. And I'm like, say, who now? I will burn all your shit down and knock all this shit over and leave me alone.
And the bad thing is most of the abusers do it under the guise of Christianity.
That too.
So I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to say it is different for women than men. I'm not going to go into the religion part of it because if I do that, I'm probably going to get banned from the internet. So I ain't going to go into that. But it is different because I can't lie. I've literally been attacked before because was like I rejected someone's advances. So they like what, and like I got attacked with a broomstick on more than one occasion, and and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But it's different for men because for men, you're supposed to be a man, you tough, and can't nothing happen. But trust me, it's been men out here that have been taken advantage of. They just afraid to say something because of the whole stereotype of you a man, versus, because if you say something now, you a little bitch. Like, oh, you little bitch, what you ain't want no pussy, nigga? Like,
yeah.
You know the first thing I thought of when you said that was Strong J on Boomerang. What? What do you mean? You don't want no pussy? Are you gay? You're not gay. He's gay.
Oh my God. Hey Dale, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. And pop in the comments, guys, and let us know, guys and gals, like, what are you sipping on tonight? Because this is a SIPP podcast. Take the time to click those buttons, like, share, and subscribe. But also pop in the comments and tell us, like, what do you think about this conversation? I know it's not our typical light and bubbly, we talking shit and shots fired type conversations, but sometimes we have to have these more serious, talks and show people it's okay to get uncomfortable and talk through it. It's okay to talk about the untalkable subjects. It's okay to say no. It's okay. Let me put this on vibrate before it start irritating me. It's okay to insert your boundaries even when other people don't understand. Y'all, I remember years ago, I was like 27, maybe. I had gone to the Nike store, me and my mom. And so to give y'all context, I'm like 5'4". My mom is like 5'10", 5'11", something like that, right? So we walking down the aisle, we having a good time laughing and joking. And this guy, one of the salespeople, comes up and he's like 6+. So he's towering over both of us. And he's just being pushy, like, well, look at this, and why don't you want to buy that? And what do you think about this? And I was like, I need you back up a little bit. You're making me uncomfortable. And he just kept pushing and pushing. And then it turned into him trying to hit on me. And I was like, this is weird. And I need for you to not do that. I just came in here to get some stuff. I just want to buy my shit and leave. Like, can you go away? Like, I kept trying to ask him nicely, and it was making me uncomfortable because I didn't want to make a scene. And the reason I'm giving y'all this is because here's another layer to this. We often don't want to make trouble for us, right? Well, I don't want to get him fired or hurt in trouble, so we'll take the bullshit and not say anything. That particular time, I had just had enough because I had been through a situation prior with sexual misconduct with a manager that I had that was like literally verbally assaulting me in front of a gym full of people. And I had to go all the way to the EEOC. Like, it got deep, right? And I remember my spiritual mentor at the time when I went through this process, because I kept giving him breaks and saying, no, he just had a baby. I don't want to get a black dude in trouble. He, maybe he needs to. And then it got to the point where he was disrespecting me with clients standing next to me, comparing our breast sizes. Like, when I tell you it got bad, it got bad. So finally I said, I'm done. Called the EEOC, filed a complaint. They came and did an investigation, and I had options. So anybody that's never been through it, they give you options on how to proceed. You can do some mediation. You can file a lawsuit. Like, there are different stages to this, right? I chose to be compassionate and say, well, no, he is a brand new 6-month-old baby. I don't want him to lose this job. Just transfer him to another gym, blah, blah. That motherfucker. Even when I was graceful, okay, tried to destroy my reputation. And I had other trainers coming to me from the gym that he had transferred to, like, do you know he's like, and it showed me some people you gotta bulldoze all that shit down, right? So anyway, fast forward back to the Nike guy. I kept saying, like, I gave him like 5 or 6 chances, like, dude, I just need for you to not do that. No, I don't want to go to lunch. Can you leave me be? No, this is not my sister. This is my mom. She don't want to go out with you either. Like, leave us alone. And finally he got disrespectful and stood in my face. I said, I will find the sharpest thing in here and cut your shit off. Like, I need for you to understand the level of crazy if you keep fucking with me. So he got loud and like started trying to call me out my name. I'm done. Called the corporate office, got him fired, and went through that process. Now, why am I saying that? Because a lot of times, again, we will not speak up for ourselves because we don't want to get that person in trouble. Why is our first thought process to protect the person that's causing harm? That goes back to the childhood of us being taught that our autonomy does not matter.
Well, it goes back a little further than that, and when you break it
Slavery.
down, exactly, it goes back to
Mhm.
that time, and so and that's the thing, because it's certain shit that's just inherently ingrained in us, that
Yeah.
we do it subconsciously, that we don't even realize that we're doing it.
Yeah.
Because if it had been anybody else, we would have been on our best bullshit.
Now let me
But
show you how
because
raw we can get. Yes.
but because it's a person like us, and we know the ramifications of what happened, we try not to carry it that way.
Right.
But then there's the other extreme. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the story about the mother that called the cops on her son because she wanted her son gone. He didn't do anything, but she just wanted him out of her house because she felt like he was disrespectful. So she called the cops and told him he had a gun.
Oh.
It's a young black man. They roll up thinking he got a gun because that's what the report says.
Wow.
So yeah, at the end of the day, she did get arrested because she said that shit. Because as soon as they pulled up and put him on the ground, she's like, "He ain't got no gun. I just said that to get y'all out here."
See, and that's that bullshit, because it makes it hard for the next person that's trying to
Right.
do right and truly needs help, right? So again, that's why we got to have these conversations. We got to normalize not being offended because somebody wants us out of their space. Go to fuck somewhere else and take a walk. Leave. Do whatever you got to do and calm down. But at the same time, we cannot weaponize resources, whether it's ourselves, our community, or anybody. And how many people have done that too? Hold on, let me catch up on the comments. Archives in Motion said, the way I was taught is you can forgive, Christ forgave the people that crucified him. However, comma, you do not have to fuck with them. I fucks with you, Archives. That's what I'm talking about. You're sipping on a Michelob Ultra. Okay. And then you said cheers, Archives, lemon drop, and martini. Here, Sean, what you sipping on?
You know you got that brown going around.
No, I'm sipping on a Blanco.
What?
Okay. Change it up.
Both of us was like, wait, what?
Change it up.
You you don't never know what I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. I am sipping on, I actually made some fresh juice this morning and it was yummy. It had strawberries and mangoes and
Oh, so that's that natural juices and berries that
juices and berries.
Archives was talking about, huh?
The juices and berries. Wait a minute.
It was,
how
yes.
Archives know unless Archives,
Don't start the bullshit. I don't even know who Archives is. Don't start the bullshit because I don't even know who Archives really is. Like,
I bet you don't. Mm-hmm.
Look, don't make me start firing shots, okay?
I'm just saying, you know.
But anywho, so yes, I had made some fresh juice this morning with mango, strawberry, and pineapple. And it was just really sweet. So I kept watering it down. And I had a little agave in there. And I kept watering it down and drinking on it through the day. So I'm still sipping on that. And I got my grapes because hydration, because, you know, we getting older and they say black don't crack, but you still got to take care of yourself. You still got to take care of your
But
skin.
black get ashy.
That it does, okay? That's why you see me all oily.
I'm just saying that sounds like some extra hydration plan for later.
So listen, not
I'm drinking my water.
Plans, but the point is, you got to stay ready. Listen, this is what I was taught growing up. If you stay ready, baby, you ain't got to
you gotta get ready.
So even though I ain't got no plans tonight, you don't know what may happen next when I
That's true. That's true. Hey, ladies, you heard it here first. Keep that waterfall flowing.
That's all I'm saying. Listen, you gotta be proactive and not reactive. Okay, you gotta eat your high water content fruits and veggies. You gotta drink your juice and your water, and let the waterfall stay activated. Huh?
Stay ready. You ain't gotta get ready.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Our Archive said, I'm married. He said it with his chest, so he don't want no problem.
See, what I want to smoke? I'm like, I don't even know who he is. Y'all up here being messy as hell. Gypsy, shut the hell up.
You know I'm just messy.
He said, I noticed J Bay's skin is more popping. I knew she was on the natural juices. Yeah, listen. So let's talk about that for a minute.
She popping, y'all. She popping.
But let's talk about that for a minute because that's part of self-care. So here's how I look at it. Just how it makes sense in my mind. Self-care, well-being, and healing all tie in together. Because how you treat yourself determines how you treat other people. And typically when you don't have boundaries for people that cause you harm and don't want to treat you well, that's indicative of you not taking care of yourself already. So it's easy for them to sneak in with the bullshit, right? Y'all see me, I be on my juices, I be eating my fruit. When I be at home, every time my friends come over, anybody come to the house, I say, you want some juice? You want some fruit? You want some water? Like they know that's my natural, my veggies. I got my carrots, my cucumbers, all my stuff, right? Because I'm serious about me. Anybody that exists in my life, friend, professional, romantic, doesn't matter. Anybody that wants to exist in my life, you got to meet and beat the standard that I set for me, that I maintain. And that's why it's easy when people don't treat me right. It's easy for me to be like, who you? who you? Block and delete.
Cut game is serious.
Listen, my favorite black is like epic.
That's that Sagittarius. You cut them quick.
Who you? Oh, okay.
New find who this?
With a quick, I will delete somebody so quick. Who this? This so and so. You don't remember me?
Nope.
No.
Oh yeah, no. The best response is, "Oh yeah, I do lose my number. I remember you. Lose my number."
Oh, that's even more harsh, Sean.
I don't be remembered. I sound so trifling. I don't remember them. Because it's like once I move on, I just speak that over myself, like remove it. I don't need this to take up any mental space.
So I remember when we were having this conversation and when we were talking about topics for the next month, and I remember saying to you that sometimes people, again, circle the block when they find out ain't nothing out there, nobody's out there that's gonna treat you like I treated you. But when you come back, you're not gonna find the me you left.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find the me you left because now you're in a different box. I don't fuck with you. Yeah. So you're not gonna find me the way you left because I'm just, once we have severed those ties, when I disconnect emotionally too. And 9 times out of 10, if the woman leaves, she disconnected emotionally before she physically left.
Facts.
That's generally the case.
Right.
And so,
yeah. And so, like with my ex-husband, would I ever go back? Mm-mm. And we were back and forth for 16 years before we even got married. But once I said I was done, like when we got married and he violated the sanctity of marriage, it was like, ain't no coming back.
That's because sometimes the situation ain't about what happened. It's just about what happened. And for me to break that down, it's like it could be circumstance and not what happened in the actual relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, if you circle the block on circumstance, that's one thing. I could see that.
Right.
Because you weren't really in a position where y'all came to impasse like this ain't gonna work because X, Y, and Z. It was just like, oh shit, I just got this job in New York and I gotta take it.
Right.
But we in California and we together, but I'm going to New York. Now shit falls apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Now that's different. But if you're like, a lot of times, I'm talking about people who willfully step out, or people who think they want to go and see if they got the better option.
No, I understand that part. That's what I was saying. Just sometimes circumstance.
Right. If you're out there physically looking for a BBO, looking for a bigger, better option, then you stay out there looking for a bigger, better option.
Well, wouldn't that be a BBO?
No, BBO. That's what I said, BBO.
Oh, I thought you said BBL. My fault. I'm so used to hearing BBL. My fault.
Listen here,
I'm sorry.
No, let me stop.
We know where your mind is.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm just so used to hearing BBL. I just thought she said BBL. Like, oh.
Okay. No, I said BBO, bigger, better option. But that's the thing is, since you thought you could get a bigger, better option, you stay out there and keep looking for one.
I feel you on that. And trust me, I'm not into BBLs. I like natural big asses, not fake big asses. So.
Well, I no, like seriously, I did get a text probably about a year and a half ago from somebody I had dated in 2020. And he was like, hey, I was wondering if we could, start kicking it again. No. Because what would happen was you said that you just wasn't feeling me anymore. Okay, well, keep not feeling me. Bye. Bye. Oh, shit wasn't sweet out there, huh? Oh, okay then. No. No, thank you.
Well, so I think
love you enough to know that
let you go.
Deserve access.
Yes.
Because love you enough. Love you more than you love anyone else.
I mean, you should. You should definitely love yourself more than you love anybody else, to a certain extent. I
No, you
mean,
should love you more than you love anyone else because of the fact that if you don't love you, you won't make you a priority. You should never be an option to yourself.
and that's why I say to a certain extent, because there are certain people in your life that no matter what happens, you're gonna be there for them. But that person has to be reciprocal in the same thing. If they're not reciprocal, being that same way for you, then no, you don't need them in your life. And I know you like what, huh? What? Well, I'm sorry. Don't nobody come before my sister.
You,
Nobody.
but
And
you
I
should
would
never
do
be
and,
second.
and I would do anything for my sister, and I would put myself last for my sister. You know why? Because she would do the same for me. And if you're not getting that, then yeah, you shouldn't love somebody like that.
Right,
Well, I agree with you, Sean, but I think even in that,
right,
there's context and boundaries because
right.
in our culture, we're often taught, even when we're in a relationship, a man will be with a woman and love her down. But if his sister called,
Mhm.
fuck you, or if his mama called, fuck you. And a lot of times they're not operating with
Yeah,
appropriate
and
boundaries.
that,
So that's why I
but
was saying context. Like we
that's
have to
Right,
that's
understand there's
that's
boundaries in that
why
as well.
that's
right.
that's why I said it's gotta be reciprocal. Because
Yeah.
trust me, my sister is not gonna put me before her husband.
And that's what I'm like, there's got to be boundaries.
And that's so it's gotta be reciprocal, and I understand that, and I would not want her to be. But you also gotta be an open-minded person on a certain level where you understand where things are,
Yeah.
and
I
that's
would,
a lot of people aren't on that level because they flow with what the world tells them this is how shit should be.
but see, I'm more with Jay on this though, Sean. And the reason is because if you don't love you enough to put you first, then your best interest will never be the center of your views and your movements, if that makes sense. Because
I
if you decentralize yourself, then yeah, that's I mean, that's
and
more like
that's
a
where I'm
people
going.
pleaser. That's a people pleaser because you're kind of like you're putting everybody else as a priority when they make you an option.
Well,
And
and
and see,
that's where I'm
so
kind of going with the family thing. Like we still have to have boundaries
Right.
even with that. Because I'm with you, Sean.
Right.
Listen, I roll for my people know if I love you, when you
Mhm.
call me and you say I need, listen, baby, do they want to be stabbed, beat, or shot? What am I packing? Who am I tagging in? Because like that's me. If I love you, I'm all in.
Right.
However, there are boundaries and balance to everything because if you choose to be in a relationship with someone, you still have to be first. And yeah, there's room
Right.
for family and loved ones, but you also have to have healthy boundaries with those family and loved ones so that your person doesn't end up last on the totem pole. Because I
Right.
see it all the time, and I have to help couples all the time navigate that. Like when mama and sister calling, because a lot of them treat the son and the brother like the man that they don't have.
and
So we
and,
have
and
the
see,
whole context for that conversation as well.
so that's the thing because you and that's the part that's hard because it's hard to explain it. It's hard to make sense of it. It's hard to work it out because
Mhm.
each situation is different. But if you are really connected with that person, then you already have that understanding.
Yeah.
I have cousins, I had uncles. Like, yeah, I will ride. Like, I will ride. Like, I will ride. So, like, all you gotta do is like, this is what it is. And trust me,
Right.
ain't nobody gonna know nothing. Ain't nothing gonna be connected to you.
Right.
Hey, Alicia.
But at the
Hey,
same
Sean.
time, it's like that person will do the same for me, and that's how I know this is who I could do that with.
Hold on one second, Sean. Sean Ezel, you said, "Ooh, you speaking." Okay, what were we saying? Tell us what we were talking about so we can dig into that point some more.
Right.
And again, Sean, listen. I'm rocking with you. My people know. Tag me in when you ready to light some shit on fire because I'm the crazy one. We ain't gonna stand for nobody hurting you, taking from you, breaking you down, beating you up, or stop. We don't do that over here.
Right.
But and my people know my home has always been a safe haven, right? So when somebody has had to transition, when I've had friends going through things, my home has always been a safe haven. I've always had that intention. But you also ain't coming into my house with no bullshit. We still got healthy boundaries, right? And so that's all I'm saying. Like in our community, we still have to be very mindful and talk about the fact, again, because we are often raised to disregard our own autonomy and our own safety mechanisms internally. You got too many grown men that mama and sister treat like husband and boyfriend. Right.
Well, I
And then
understand that.
you got too many grown men that don't know how to let their daughters exist in a healthy relationship because maybe they feel guilty about all the shit they didn't do, or they're overprotective, or whatever the reason. So you have a lot of people that exist in a relationship that their person may in fact be really good and it may be a great experience, but it's being undermined because they always saying, but I rock with my family though. Love that for you. But still have healthy boundaries, because when you done fucked your shit up and you over here lonely and by yourself again, they gonna be able to just fine because they still got you to call on. So we got to hold space for all of that in context, right? Sean said, facts, mine know too, but having my mom not having a man leave me and my brothers hold a lot of things pertaining to her. Yeah, we
I
have
mean,
to
no,
be able to recognize how
no,
that shit shows
trust
up.
me. Trust me, that is true, and I can tell you from personal experience being raised by a single mother. I had to be the man of the house. I was way stronger than I should have been because I had to carry heavy ass shit at a young ass age.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then once I got older and was out of the house, my mom started dating again, and then when I come around, I'm like, this nigga ain't a good nigga. Then she would get mad at me. Like, oh, you just hate him. I'm like, no, I want you to be happy. Shit,
yeah,
leave me the fuck alone. But that nigga ain't a good nigga.
yeah,
And
ain't
then
shit. I get it.
when she find out, then it was oh well. Like I told you from the beginning.
That's a Leo thing. Y'all do that shit.
Look, I want look. My mom, she's been gone for quite some time now. You know, almost 20 years, 28 to be 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, hey, it is what it is. But I wanted her to be happy. It wasn't like I was just hating, like, oh, you my mom. Nah, fuck that. I was tired of her calling me up, like, how I hook this up? Like, I showed you this shit before. You just put, but yeah, like, and then I'm not there now. I'm trying to explain shit. Like, you gotta take the coaxial, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. So I'd rather somebody be there. Shit, like she called me, like I need this fixed. Like fuck, man, I gotta go home and fucking run some plumbing and shit because the pipe busted and she don't want to pay a plumber. You know what I'm saying? I wish a motherfucker was there to do that shit. But yo, this is not a good motherfucker. He trying to
Yeah,
scam you. He trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I mean, I see this nigga.
yeah.
I know what niggas do.
I'm gonna catch up on the comments. Sean said, learning those healthy boundaries with my second marriage has been a non-negotiable because I learned through healing from the first time that not having boundaries with my family created a division. So many of us have to recognize that. What's up,
Right.
Benny? I'm gonna take this moment to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Mr. Benny Mack, the comedic narrator. He's also a local Black business owner and owns Benny Mack on First Avenue. He don't judge him right now because I got to go in and get my lineup and my cut and all that. But he keep me looking right and tight as well. So hit them up if you're in the area and you need barbershop support. Mr. Sean said, man, SP, you speaking my entire life as I just go back home to Savannah from I'm going to take care of grandma. So many have to. That's a death.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, that's deep.
That's deep. Yeah. I was trying to get it up on the screen and I got stuck. But
That's a hell of a hell of a misspelling between deep and death. God damn.
I was trying to get it up there and I got
So
stuck. But she
blame it on
said,
the drink. Blame it on the alcohol.
No, but seriously though,
We have to
that's
be
it.
mindful of these things.
But you know what? That is also what is culturally taught in us.
Did your volume go down, Gypsy?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, let me see. Sugar, honey, iced tea. What in the world?
Did you say sugar, honey, iced tea?
Yeah.
Is that your way of saying shit?
Okay, yeah. You right. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you now.
Okay. All right. So that is culturally, that is taught to us culturally as well. Family first, family first. And so a lot of times we do feel guilty. And like in the case of what Shawnee Zell was saying about, his mom not being married and stuff like that. And so, yeah, the sons do often feel obligated to go and put mom before.
Let me also throw this in here, Gypsy, with your point.
Yeah.
Daughters feel that same pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Because even in my adulthood and dating, it was a weird paradoxical experience. Like I felt guilt because my mom wasn't dating, right? And then when I've always attracted provider, safe, masculine men. So I've always had men in my life that were willing to show up and take my car to get my oil changed, or like, hey, if they're taking me out, your mom good? Do we need to take her something back? Like, what does she need? If she needed something put together and her, friends weren't available, I could call them to her house and they put stuff together, help move stuff, whatever. But there was this guilt that I would feel because, well, mom doesn't have it, so I got to share mine with her. And then it gets overwhelming because you want to have your person to yourself. You don't always want them having to go to mama house and fix something, So daughters deal with it as well. And it's a different experience,
right,
on the feminine side with the girls than it is on the masculine side with the guys. But I caught myself.
We got to have Shawnee Zell on the show.
We do. And I know Sean, he's dope. So we definitely gotta and don't get started on being the stand-in father dad, because my younger brother's pops allowed addiction to overtake his life. Yes. And again, this is why we gotta have these conversations, because this shit does not go away. I was just talking about that earlier today. Trauma does not disappear. It sits. And until you actively work through it to dissolve it and release it from your body and from your psyche and your mindset, it's there all the time. So we have to be able to talk about this stuff and recognize inappropriate boundaries, unhealthy boundaries, non-existent boundaries,
Because unfortunately, Sean, with that being your sister, you being a boy, take care of your sister. Take care of your sister. And if Shawnee Zell is the oldest, take care of your little brother. You gotta be a role model for your little brother, and this, that, and the other. You see what I'm saying? That's a lot of pressure to put on people outside of just a normal, like, everyday life. Then they have these expectations of everyone else that's in their lives. And so, yeah, I get it. You don't deserve access just because you want access.
Yeah. Sean said, I am so grateful that my sister just got married. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You gotta understand, and that's what a lot of people. Okay, so originally it comes from it takes a village,
right?
But that got misconstrued and contorted because of slavery.
Right.
So that just compounded, because back in the day when we was in Africa, it took a village, meaning that everybody looked out for everybody.
Right.
But it wasn't the same constraints, because now dealing with slavery, shit, you gotta look. You 5, you gotta look at you after your brother or your sister that's 1 or 2 years old, because we gotta go out here and work these fields, and we can't have master coming here killing our fucking kids, because they already killing enough of us already.
Sean,
So then that
that brought up a good point, because I just want to tell you something that my mother told me. Well, no, that my aunt told me. My aunt was older than my mother and the sister right above her. My mother was the youngest girl. And my aunt often told a story about how she always considered my mom like her little baby, because during slavery times, because my mother was born in 1946, my aunt used to put her on her hip and take her to the field so that my grandma could change her. She probably was like 5 or 6 herself. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the whole responsibility for the younger siblings and stuff, that's been ingrained in us for centuries. And
now let's take it a little deeper.
Right.
Because it's not just about the lived experience they had back then and the passing down of ritual or patterns or habits. Now we get into epigenetics, because that trauma so the best way I can simplify it is, here's a piece of DNA, here's a trauma from an experience, whether good or bad, right? We can have a good memory or we can have a trauma from a bad experience. It does not completely change your DNA, but your DNA sits here, and that memory, that feeling, that intensity says, I'm gonna tag this. So every time you see this or smell this or experience this, this is how you respond. This is what this feels like. So you can love cherry blossoms or jasmine rice, okay? And your great grandchild, never having tasted it before, can be like, oh, I love that smell. I want some of that. Well, how you know you want some of that? She ain't never tasted it. But remember the tag on the DNA. Same thing with grandma having to work in the field and mama being on baby sister's hip to go get her diaper changed, or the fear of, you got to watch your siblings so they don't kill us, or the fear of, I can't take care of my wife and protect her because I don't want them to keep raping her to emasculate me, or I can't intervene when they're emasculating my husband or my son, right? All of that trauma tags, trying to make sure I'm in the camera frame, all of that trauma tag. So now, even though we're not necessarily talking about that every day, that trauma is still embedded in our psyche, our spirit, our essence. Because now we go back to another part of science, everything has a vibrational frequency, right?
And you know what? Maybe that trauma is why you didn't want to get the Nike man in trouble.
Exactly. And that's where I'm going with this, right? We're not just dealing with right now in our generation or our elders that we saw growing up. We're dealing with centuries. And we didn't want to get each other in trouble. We had to stay silent so we could all stay together and stay safe. I may not like you and I can't stand you, but together we're stronger against massa. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I may not like you and I can't stand you, but right now we got to get in this field and pick these things in order to pay our wages so that we can stay alive and be considered valuable, right? And so now we're still dealing with mothers and daughters being pitted against each other, sons and fathers being pitted against each other, families torn apart, right? And then now let's look at, because I really sat and thought about this, because one of my students was struggling with something. So I said, let me break this down. We just watched right here in March 2026, the world come together to say we're going to acknowledge that the Atlantic slave trade was horrendous and evil. We're going to acknowledge the trauma that still exists. And yet the bullshit of the US and this fuck ass criminal that we have in office, this orange goddamn taco, three countries, because I held up 2 fingers, 3 countries said, nah, even though we ain't got to pay no money, even though there's no actual repercussion right now, we still are going to stand on our bullshit and stand 10 toes down and say no.
Because if they admit to it, then at some point in time, when they be like, all right, reparations, they gonna have to be held accountable, and they don't want to do that. But
Exactly.
their whole shit was built off that shit.
Exactly.
America would not be America if they didn't have free fucking work for 300, 400 years.
Let's go back even deeper. So I brought this up for a reason, right? Because now we're talking about why we're struggling the way that we are. Unconsciously, we're seeing it. And it's still a reminder that we are considered less than. Even if we stand up and say, shit, I'm black and I'm proud. Unconsciously, we see that. And it's still a reminder that the world don't give a shit about us, right? More specifically, the U.S., right? Now, let's go a little bit deeper and look at the fact that we're constantly saying, well, you're not working hard enough. Well, you had the same availability as everybody else to access and resources. No, because you motherfuckers lit our neighborhoods on fire and flooded them and put lakes on top of them like Guntersville and Central Park and Lake Lanier and all the others across the United States. And Black Wall Street.
Brown every fucking year, Lake Lanier.
Right. And your ancestors.
Seneca Village. It's not Central Park. It's Seneca Village. That's what it is.
Seneca Village. But you get the point that I'm saying, right? So on top of that, now you look at any wealthy white family that's had money for generations. And it's likely that they got it by the land and stealing it from somebody else. And them same descendants that have had generational wealth for centuries right now off our backs will turn around and say, but you had the same access and opportunities. Bitch, no, I didn't.
No,
so
and that's why,
deeper foundation of why we are struggling with a lot of these things, right? Let me catch up on the comments.
When they say pull yourself up by your bootstraps, shit, we ain't had the boots. What the fuck are you talking about?
Our boots had holes in them. Stop the boots.
Alex said it still takes the village. Socially cohesive groups are more likely to be better overall outcomes. Yeah. Sean said, and unfortunately, my aunt really raised my mom, and that cycle just continued with me. And I'm hoping it stops with my generation. It absolutely can, because we do have a lot of power to make those changes. Yeah. Sean, what were you laughing at? What were we saying? Archive said Tulsa.
Yep. Taco comment, because I remember when he did that.
Alex said epigenetics can be changed. Yes, they can, and that's we'll get deeper. No, they can be. They can be. So I'm glad you said that, because that's one, we've been on here an hour already. So it's some stuff I'm just kind of putting out there so we can keep it in mind, right? And we'll go deeper as we continue this conversation, maybe next episode. Hold on one second. Sean said, and don't be a minority of the Black community, man. Yeah. And preach. Dale said preach. So now let me go back to the comment about epigenetics. So yes, technically epigenetics can be changed. Here's the problem. If you're not even having the conversation, you can't fight something that you don't even know exists. And most of us are not having that conversation, right? I have the benefit of having 26 years in my field at this point. So I'm chaotic. I am a messy human, but I got a lot of knowledge, right? But a lot of people don't know to even have that conversation. Here's also where we get into neuroscience. We can rewire how our neurons fire and how our brain processes information. But if you don't know that, and if you're not having the conversations, you can't fight an enemy that you don't know exists. And that's still the problem.
You know, it's funny you say that. I was watching the new version of Matlock, but also then I talked to my sister about it, right? You know, the new version of Matlock, the senior partner had a stroke, and he woke up, and he woke up with a different kind of consciousness about him. And he said that he woke up with forgiveness. And it's like something about rewiring his brain like that, right? And so I asked my sister about that. And she said, yeah, it's true. And the reason, now, without getting all into it, is because my sister had a medical emergency about 10 years ago. And I asked her, did it rewire her brain? So I guess it is true that you can rewire your brain, especially if you have some sort of like medical emergency in your brain that forces it to rewire because of trauma or damage. And it could change personality.
Yes, we see this with dementia. We see this with Alzheimer's. We see it with strokes. We see it with TBIs, traumatic brain injuries. We see it with other head injuries. Also, even if you don't have any of those type of emergencies, you can absolutely rewire.
Oh yeah,
I said that our episode is like the movie regarding Henry with Harrison Ford. Yeah. So even without the medical emergency, affirmations help to rewire your brain. Mantras help to rewire your brain. Journaling can help to rewire your brain. That's why I said it's tangible and it's available. But if you don't know to even have the conversation or consider it and think about it and work through it, or learn the coping skills and the tools to do it, because I help clients do it all the time. Funnily enough, this is why people love me when I do corporate training, because I always weave a little bit of spirituality in there, and I always weave a little bit of wellness and self-care in there. And so by the time we're out of the training that day, they're coming to me and being like, and I've heard this so many times I can't even count no more. Like, Miss Jasmine, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't want to be here today. They said I had to be here, but but I'm so glad I came because I learned such and such and blah blah blah, da 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 da, and this makes so much sense. And it doesn't. And my point is, it doesn't have to be hard. All it takes is somebody that knows what they're doing to help you walk through it and a willingness to learn, right? But that being said, we got to be willing to have the conversation. That's like shadow boxing the air, hoping that you gonna lose weight. That don't work like that.
Well, no, I can tell you if you do a solid shadow boxing routine, at least 20 to 30 minutes a day, you will lose weight over a time span.
Yes, I miss the boxing gym. It was one of my favorite workouts. But my point was to be clear. If I sit here and just shadow box the air like this because I'm mad for 10 seconds, I ain't gonna look
Yeah,
that.
now 10 seconds ain't gonna do shit.
Work up a sweat.
Right, I'm be mad at the air, but ain't nothing gonna change.
But then the other thing is that people won't really seek it out because for centuries it's been taboo. It's been taboo to talk about mental health in our community. You know what I'm saying? Like
that is true, and that it ain't,
taboo.
it ain't.
So how can you fix something you know it's broke, but you don't want to go to get the tools to fix it because folks be looking at you funny.
We fix it like
see,
this.
this is the thing. I'm gonna break it down for you. All that shit is put out there to keep us where we at.
You're right.
So it's put out there that, oh, niggas ain't shit, so black women, y'all shouldn't be fucking with them. And oh, black women ain't shit. They all attitudinal, so that's why y'all shouldn't fuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, a nigga gonna put you through it and do all this bullshit. Or oh yeah, a black woman gonna put you through it and you don't want to deal with all that bullshit. And this and that and oh yeah, mental health. Y'all don't need that shit. Y'all strong. Y'all don't need it. What y'all need it for? That's weak. If y'all, so they put all this shit out there to keep us, to try to keep us where they want to keep us at.
So that still goes back to slavery. You could not show weakness, right? You can't talk about feeling down or sad or depressed. They don't give a fuck if your feet hurt or your back hurt. They don't give a fuck if you're tired or you're upset or angry.
You still make your poundage.
Right. Dale said, oh, hold on.
Oh yeah, I like
Ron
that.
said it's still taboo, and as a man, we get dogged out so bad. Yes. Yeah. Alex said creating safe, consistent, and enriched environments can reduce fear responses and regulate mood, even without directly discussing past traumas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, with a caveat for some people. Because again, we have to understand. Dale said anti-black propaganda all day, every day.
Yes,
so let me add a layer to what you said, Alex. Because again, we have to understand some things that work for some people in some experiences and backgrounds and cultures and communities are a different experience when you add the layer of being in black skin.
Right.
You good?
Nah, my power started flickering. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, you down in Texas? You know, y'all call yourself got your own grid.
Yeah, I know that shit. I feel like, what the fuck? Ain't shit. Ain't shit. Ain't no storm. Ain't nothing going on. What the fuck is going on?
I'm gonna take that as the ghost in your life was like, Jay, you better help. Okay, so let me tell y'all. So we have to look at the fact that once you add the layer of this black skin, whether you light skin, whether you medium, whether you chocolate, whether you caramel like me, whether you dark chocolate, whatever you are, whether you're midnight black, whether you grew up in money, whether you grew up in poverty, whatever you experience, when you add the layer of being black onto whatever trauma you have experienced, simply creating safe space isn't enough.
It isn't enough.
You have lived a life where your body has been trained to be vigilant. Listen, for as long as I can remember, my dad was a veteran, right? Army veteran. And he was a street dude, okay? So for as long as I can remember, I have been trained. And my longest relationship was with a veteran who was Marine. So that just added a whole nother layer, right? I can't walk in any place and not tell you where the exits are.
Exactly.
I don't sit with my back to the door, right? I can be talking to you, but you're going to see me looking around because I'm going to always be paying attention to what people, I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I don't care who house I'm in. And it's not really a good feeling. Listen, people be like, Jay, that's dope. You always know that's not a good feeling. It's fucking exhausting. But I have been trained that way from baby up to now, right? And it's reinforced as a black person that you always got to have your head on a swivel because you don't know. Now let's talk about black women, because then you add another layer on top of that of being a woman, and you have to oftentimes, unfortunately, fear men. It don't matter the color or race, because men are often taught that, well, that woman shouldn't have put that on. Well, she shouldn't have said that. Well, she could have gave you her number. I don't know a woman that I've ever met. I don't know a woman that has not experienced a man being disrespectful and calling her out her name or threatening her or being aggressive. I have not ever met a woman that have not had that experience in some form or fashion when he approached her and wanted to talk to her and get her number or whatever, right? So a lot of times we're forced to just comply for safety. All of that being said, my point, going back to what Alex said, yes, we can create safe space, and that's the start of it. But this is why seeing black faces, black bodies is so important in the mental health field. It's so important in the medical field. Because when you're constantly being told your pain is not real, when you're constantly being told your symptoms don't matter, when you're constantly being bulldozed and dismissed, you can put them in a safe place, and that safe place still don't matter because it's not safe in here. Sean said, damn, baby, you like crazy. Wait, who said what happened
now? Because you name everybody you name got mental health issues. So that's why I was like, that's why I had different too, because I was like, yeah.
Listen, all I said, power glitch, it's man. All I said was my daddy and one person. Okay.
No, but, you said one guy was a Marine and then another guy was also yeah.
No, so, I said my daddy was my daddy. Okay. My daddy
was your daddy, he was a veteran, so he was what, in the Army?
He was Army, and he was a hood dude. Okay, he was that
dude. And he's an Army hood dude. Okay,
right. Crazy. And then I said one part of my longest relationship was with a veteran Marine.
With a Marine, crazy.
So I don't like crazy. Okay, whatever. Nita said, hold on. Nita said, I feel you, Jay. I'm the same way. What was I talking about, Nita?
And Sean said, watching the door, keeping your head on a swivel, and see.
And so, even when we're with a man that we know got our back and keep us safe, like, listen, I love it, baby. Show me you got me protected. Love it. I don't accept less. But even with that, there's still something in me that never quite deactivates or turns off because it has been ingrained in this black body. So I still have to work. It's a trauma response. Let's be real about that.
You know what? Because 10 niggas might run up in here trying to do some shit, and I might get all 10, but it might be 11 nigga I didn't see, but you see that motherfucker, you get that motherfucker. And now I'm like, hell yeah, baby, hell yeah, let's go.
You understand? Nita said, paying attention. Yeah. And honestly, let's be real about it. It's a trauma response. But you know what made me hyper aware of it? This is real. This happened. I went to lunch with a professional acquaintance like maybe 2-3 years ago. Big, tall, country bred white guy, like 6'6", like huge dude. So I know him and his wife. His wife is like 6'2", 6'1", 6 feet, something like that. Like they're both tall, right? So anyway, I go to lunch with him and we walk up to the table and I was about to sit facing the door and I realized, no, because he's a veteran. I've never been around a veteran that will sit with their back to the door. So I caught myself and I said, hold up, let me move. I will sit with my back to the door only because I trust you. But I don't normally sit with my back to the door. And he said, Jay, actually, you can, well, he called me Jasmine. He was like, actually, you can sit on either side. I'm okay because I trust you. I said, what do you mean? He said, I understand that if I sit with my back to the door and you're watching, they're not going to get close before you done let me know already so I can respond. And I was like, damn. Up front, it sounds like a compliment, which it was coming from him. It honestly was a compliment, right? But it pointed my trauma response out to me in bold colors. Because why the fuck is this 6'6" man so comfortable with me watching his back? That says a lot.
Because he's watching your face. Because if your
Right.
face change, you ain't even got to say shit.
Right.
If your face change, shit, I'm already.
And see, as a veteran with PTSD, and then also
you said I was a big chick. I love me some tall women. I'd be like, you better go, Glamazon. Come on, baby.
I mean, but 6'2", goddamn, yeah, she should have been in the WNBA.
Right, but see, like, but besides being a veteran, I also was in a coup. So my trauma, my dad, because my dad was a diplomat. And now that he gone, I can go on and say it. He's also retired CIA, but he gone now. But so, you know, that's the thing is so I've been almost kidnapped before, just a whole bunch of stuff. So my trauma response is really bad. It's really, really bad. My head is always on a swivel.
Did you have a creasy?
A what?
A creasy.
What the fuck is that?
You don't remember Man on Fire?
This nigga.
You know what? So let me answer this question because somebody texted me this question asking about Seneca Village and why I was saying Central Park. So Central Park is what it's known as now, but I name it because that's what's popular. However, and people know that name, right? But Central Park sits on what used to originally be Seneca Village, and again, it is land that they outright stole and bulldozed our people and rebuilt into what is now known as Central Park to make it all pretty. Lake Lanier flooded a black town. Guntersville Lake flooded a black town. So that's why I was just giving those as some examples of why when we look at generational wealth and we are working our asses off, they got 4 centuries worth of head start. From land that they stole, money they stole, assets and resources that they stole and kept in the family and built businesses that they stole, life insurance policies that they stole, wills that they hit, all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of those other families have centuries of a head start from things that they took from our ancestors.
Absolutely.
And we are still playing kind of a catch-up game, right? Hold on one second. Archive said that's a big chick. Y'all know I'm used to tall people. Like I said, my mom is like 5'10", 5'11". My aunt is
5'3".
Shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody asked you.
Well, shit, I am too, but I'm just saying. Everybody taller than us.
I feel like I was supposed to be taller because even my grandma was like 5'9", 5'10". My other aunt's like 5'9", 5'10". My uncle was 6+. My guy cousins were 6+. I feel like my body didn't get the memo. Like I shot up really fast.
All the tall jeans was gone by the time you got in line.
Yes. Because I shot up and then my body was like, what else we supposed to be doing? We gonna stop right here. I was like, bitch. Yeah, I feel like I was supposed to be like way taller than this. I got cheated, y'all. Sean said he is right because I married a family of nothing but military, and that level of trust is important. And let me tell you.
Facts.
And I'm present. I wasn't on this. So again, as y'all see, I'm passionate about this because I'm talking to people about this all the time. I've been having these conversations in various ways for 26 years at this point, and having to help people navigate different cultures, different religions, different communities, and seeing the difference in what that looked like in other bodies versus Black bodies.
Right.
And there's a real difference because of the embedded trauma. And we are not being called to safe spaces consistently, because even those supported, quote unquote, safe spaces are often run by people that don't look like us, don't have any cultural awareness, don't give a fuck about bias and racism embedded, and will still cause harm and don't want to be checked on it, even though it's supposed to be a safe space.
So
In the
you
medical
gotta
system, in the mental health system, in all of our societies and systems. And so this is why we don't want to go get help. We don't want to be dismissed and told ain't shit wrong with us when we know we fall in the fucking part.
And that's why women die.
No. You gotta understand when you dealing with a certain people that their whole thing is destruction and devastation.
Yeah.
They just carnage and pillage. That's their whole thing. That is their whole thing. They have never had nothing other than that.
Yeah.
That's their whole. So when you deal with that, I mean, come on. I mean, they made public executions popular.
And them motherfuckers trying to bring it back. That's what
I
Charlie Kirk
mean,
was talking about before he was on
who
the live, bringing back public executions and letting
who
children watch. And he
who
wasn't
wants
talking about them.
who wants to say if that's not something tremendous? But that's their thing. They indoctrinate their young into their way of thinking. And like, look, this is regular. They fuck that. They lusted us. Let's kill them. And this is what it looks like.
Yep.
Let's make lampshades and training cars about this bullshit.
Also, can we talk about the fact that their children are still alive?
Yep.
The people that were watching public executions and hanging us from trees, forbidden fruit, strange fruit, the people that were participating in that are in those black and white photos, a lot of them are still alive. A lot of them are the people in power right now in the 1%. A lot of them are the ones that control the football teams and a lot of these big franchises. And all those kids that you see looking up in awe and wonder and whatever else and curiosity are still alive, right? They are parents' age. A lot of the people that did these atrocities are still alive. And this is why that trauma repeats.
They run around with
if we don't talk about it.
They run around with spray tan and cankles.
Yeah, and trying to beat us. They hate us, but they emulate everything that we do, right?
Yeah.
But this is why we have to have these conversations, because I guarantee you somebody gonna text me or text you or message Sean and be like, you know what? Thank you for talking about this, because I talked about it with my sister or my partner or my husband or my cousin or my wife or my daughter or my son or whoever. This is why we have these conversations, because we can't change the world, everybody at one time, but we can affect one person every time. That domino effect keeps going. Hold on 1 second, Gypsy. Sean said, or when you get, oh my God. When you get help, you're told your mental illness because you see things. Yes, I got to talk about that later. It's called Neanderthalism. Yep. Go ahead, Gypsy.
And see, it's funny that you say that, because like my dad was 87, but what folks don't realize, at 55, I'm still less than one generation removed from civil rights. Like, I was born in 1970. They were still marching around. Women didn't even get bank accounts and stuff where they could be on there by themselves until the mid 70s.
Hay said,
They
your
weren't
boy
even
said,
able to go to like Harvard and stuff until the mid-70s.
the walk-in Selman was just was it 62 years ago?
Right.
We are not that far removed. This
Right.
is in our lifetime.
But people think because when they came up, they were going to school with people of other races and stuff that, oh, well, that was then. That was so long ago. It wasn't that long ago. I was going to school with other races, but that's because my father was a diplomat and I was living overseas. But that, the same thing, we still were not really accepted. We were one of a handful of Black families that lived in the same embassy compound. But we were not that far removed.
So I remember the Gulf War. I think I was in Virginia. And we started getting a lot of refugees, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was fifth grade, sixth grade, somewhere in there, young.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember it was not a lot of us in the school.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, it was mostly white, and then it got a little bit more multicultural with all the refugees coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go back and remember, if I think about it intentionally, I can remember them still feeling like they were better than us already at that young age, already feeling as if they were better than us and talking down to us. And it was intense because, bitch, we live in a bigger house than you. Who is you talking? So as kids, when you're having to have that kind of conversation and you don't even understand why you're having to have the conversation, it's a lot.
And I was in the Navy at the time that happened. And because I was in the Navy in the late 80s, early 90s, early to mid 90s, which was like the height of tailhook. This is when they first started putting women on aircraft carriers. I was one of the first women on an aircraft carrier, first woman on an oiler, first woman on an ammunition ship. So I was one of the barrier breakers. And not to mention, I also was Black. And then they hate when you're Black and smart.
Oh, come on.
If you're Black and smart, that's even worse. My brother had to graduate at 16 because when we came back to the States, their schools were so far behind that what he was taking as a sophomore overseas, that was freshman classes in college. So they had nothing left for him to take. So they had to graduate him. So now you have a 16-year-old going to college. And and that's the thing, is that because we were still so close to that, remember I said my mother was carried on her sister's hip to the field.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were that close to it, my mother always said education is the only way out of this. So always get your education and stuff, right? But the last 45 years or so, we've kind of stopped giving that message, but we also have stopped creating that village either. Now when you tell somebody something about their kid, no, don't talk about my kid. My kid ain't bad. My kid ain't, yeah.
No, and I feel you on that, and I apologize for cutting you off. It's just
No,
I don't agree. I don't agree with that only because of the world we live in today. And the reason why I say that is because of propaganda. The world keeps trying to feed us bullshit, and we keep feeding into it.
Let me catch up on the comments, Sean, and then you can finish because it ties into where you're going, I think, if you're okay with that. Sean said, hell, Ruby Bridges is younger than my grandma, who was 85, born in 1940 in rural. Man, listen, I live down the street from the 16th Street Baptist Church. This shit is wild. that I can look at the statues and see this stuff, and it's in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Dale said, absolutely, that's part of the propaganda. That's why I wanted to get this comment, because you finna go there, Sean. They want everybody to get over the constant racism. And then Sean said, try being one of 3 Black kids in an all-white school when Obama was elected. Yeah, I'm kicking it back to you, Sean.
Yeah, but that goes back to what I'm saying, because like me myself growing up, I went to all white schools up until middle school,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to fight like every goddamn day, like every goddamn day. I mean, when I was in 4th grade, I had this boy. He was in 3rd grade, and these 2 big ass corn-fed 6th grade motherfuckers was fucking with him, calling him nigga and all types of shit. And he came running over to me crying. I'm like, who these niggas? The fuck is going on? And yeah, I went over there and I fucking handled them motherfuckers, both of them, at one time. And what happened? I got suspended, but they got to go on a graduation field trip.
Mm-hmm.
So when my mom was up there raising hell, like what the fuck, where they at? Why they not suspended? They was fighting too, right? Like that should only be fair. But no, they in 6th grade, they got to go on a field trip. Now, granted, I whipped their ass, cause fuck that, fuck you. But at the same time, yeah, they should have felt the same consequence, and they did.
Facts. Same. Before I got to high school, every school I went to was predominantly something else. And then high school was the predominantly Black school that I really experienced. And that's where I saw the pain within our culture of the light skin versus dark skin. I was too light to be Black, not light enough to be white. You got to be mixed with something because your hair ain't nappy enough. You talk too proper. Where you come from, you think you're better. Like, that's where that came in, right? But all of that's a result of the propaganda, because we're constantly being pitted at one another. If they can keep us fighting each other, we're not looking at the bullshit that they're doing.
Right.
This is why I say these conversations are helpful, because every time somebody is willing to have this conversation, I choose to believe that somebody's going to take something from it and change something in their own dynamic, whether it's themselves or in their family, etc. Right. So every time we're willing to have this conversation and shine a light on the fact that we can change the trauma response. You might not, I tell people all the time, fuck that therapist. If they are not helping you, get another one. If you don't like them, fire their ass too, until you find somebody that communicates in a way that makes sense for you, that respects your cultural identity, that respects your religious or your spiritual beliefs, and hold space to not just label you as broken or something wrong with you, right? Sean said education is not the way out anymore. I agree. That's why they're repealing DEI. That's why they're taking down affirmative action. That's why they're changing a lot of these degree programs and trying to say that they're not professional, because most of the degrees that they're attacking, we are dominating those fields.
Right.
And so they're trying to make it harder for us to thrive in the education that we've already built.
So that they dumbasses get in there.
Facts.
So keep going, keep reading the comments.
Okay. Archive said Miss Paula was no joke.
That was my mother.
Your mother?
Yeah, that's
okay.
actually our Archives was my best friend growing up. So you know,
okay.
That's why they said that.
Gypsy said because when we started meeting the mark, they said they kept raising up. Yeah. That's true. Listen.
Because when they said we need a high school diploma, we got a high school diploma. Then they said, "Oh, you need an associate's. We got an associate's.
Got that.
You need a bachelor. We got a bachelor.
Got that.
You need a master's degree." I mean, when the fuck did a secretary need a master's degry?
Can I tell y'all something?
But see, the thing is that we outperform them on every level.
Can I tell y'all something?
Keep trying to dial shit back to make it seem like
they integrated. I listen, ain't nobody gonna convince me otherwise. I truly, with everything in my soul, believe this is why, even though they said they didn't want to, I believe this is why they eventually allowed integration to happen. Because they looked at the fact we done stripped these people of every fucking thing and they are still figuring it out. Let us bring them over here so we can take half of their teachers out of the way. We can control what they have access to. We can control what they're being taught. We control what the books are and what the books say. And we still have continued to thrive and blow their asses out of the water.
And you know what's so sad is until Hidden Figures, nobody realized just how, bless you, just how anyway, nobody
for white women and with Jesus. Yeah, well, yeah.
But you know,
when you look at the stats, they benefited more than any other class and group.
Absolutely. But until Hidden Figures, though, seriously, until Hidden Figures, they didn't even realize just how brilliant we were when it comes to math and stuff like that. And when you let's take that out of the way.
This is the thing. Everything invented of consequence was invented by a black person.
Yeah, because
you can be like Eli Whitney invented the cotton. No, he didn't. He stole the patent.
We couldn't get patents. That's why everybody they made it so we couldn't get patents.
You wouldn't have a car if it wasn't for a black man.
You wouldn't have lights if it wasn't for a black man.
It's just that Ford, stole. Now, granted, you would have lights. They just would last about 3 days before you had to replace the bulb. Because it was a black man that figured out how to make the filament last longer. That's why you can have a bulb in there like, God damn, that should have been in there for like 2 years. Now it just blew out. Now I got to replace. It's because of a black man.
And
the basic shit, like a fucking dustpan and broom, to this day was invented by a black man. But they don't want to. They don't want to.
The iron.
They don't want to either. Like I said, everything of consequence. I'm trying to tell you, but they don't want it. They don't. I mean, hell, even if you like barbecue,
we learn how to cook outside.
But even look at oxtails, even look at chitterlings, even look at all this stuff that to us was leftovers, base of the base that we only had the limited access to. Now they want to turn this shit into a luxury. Like anything that we take and make something out of. And let me be very clear. Let me put this disclaimer out. This is not about hating on any other culture, because a lot of times when we have this type of conversation, people feel like, well, why you got to hate on everybody? No, this is not about hating everybody else. This is about holding space and being unapologetic about the power that Black people have and celebrating that shit loud and proud, and not feeling like we have to be demure or diminish ourselves in order for other people to feel comfortable, because that's typically what we're taught by society. Cross the road, make yourself smaller, take up less space, bring your voice down, don't talk with so much bass, don't be that smart, don't tell them, don't show them up. No. Because I've been the person in the position in the corporate space where the dumbass who was the son of one of the directors came in and got the job above me to be my supervisor. And I was twice as educated and twice as experienced. I said, I know y'all fucking lying. I was gone 2 weeks later because we ain't finna play that game. But a lot of people don't have the ability to do that, move that. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Archive said, J-Bay and Gypsy, Madam C.J. Walker, y'all appreciate. Man, listen. What? Okay, she paved the way.
And you,
right? That I just finished a brisket sandwich. Yes. Listen, all the people. That's why I'm like, when I tell you, you will never convince me not to love myself. You will never convince me not to love Black men. You will never convince me not to love Black women. When I'm out and about, I'm always trying to find a reason to listen. I'm always trying to find a reason to compliment somebody. Sir, you smell amazing. Have a good day. Ma'am, love those earrings. You rocking that hair, girl. That hair is good. Like, I'm always trying to find a way and a reason to hype somebody else and love on us, because we need that. Because when you turn on the news, when you listen to the radio, all the bullshit, do you not wonder why our music is such bullshit now? Do you not wonder why everything is so fucking crazy? Again, it's part of the program. If we can change the narrative in the music, if we promote all this stupid shit that you don't even understand what they fucking saying and they sound halfway illiterate and ignorant, then we got people out here bopping to it, don't know what's going on. Instead of a regular love song talking about Black love, instead of a Teddy Pendergrass or a Barry White, or instead of a Avant or a 112, or instead of a Shantae Moore, or instead of a whoever, right? Kenny Lattimore, like all these people, Maxwell, Janet, like all these people that make good music that had us feeling ourselves and like, hey, straighten that crown, sis. They want us to feel bad. They want us to feel like everybody's in a gang. Listen, every fucking culture that exists has gangs. The Italians just call it mafia. Like,
Nah,
but the
it's
news will tell you.
But they don't. But
it's La Cosa Nostra.
The Cosa Nostra. Sorry, my
no,
bad. But you get what
That's
I'm
what
saying?
the Italians call it.
They'll
okay,
change the name and make us feel like we're the only one doing stupid shit, and that's not
I
true.
need y'all to peep game. Listen,
Yes.
the only reason they made the 3 strikes rule and made it so that we would go to jail for life and stuff like that is because they took the opportunities out of our neighborhoods for our people to succeed. So we became entrepreneurs. But I mean, we're brilliant at marketing because you got to be able to sell drugs. You got to be able to market yourself. We know how to cut it to make a profit. So we're good at accounting. We're good at bookkeeping. We're good. You know, there's a lot of things that we're good at, right? But I'm saying the thing is that even when they try to hold us back, we found a way to.
But see, that's why there's the war on drugs, because as long as they was doing it, it was haphazard, and whatever happened. But when we start, even our, and I don't want to use this word, but for the lack of a better word, even if our dumbest people is out there doing this shit, they smarter in that shit than they are. Let me put it that way. Because I don't know a lot of motherfuckers, they couldn't read and write, but they can get down there and chop that shit up and sell it and make a motherfucking profit and be balling.
Right.
But if you was to give them a aptitude test, they probably come in somewhere around a 5th grade education level.
But that's because those tests weren't designed for us. We learned different.
I mean, no, they weren't. They weren't.
They weren't. We learned different. You know, and that's the thing. A lot of us learn by example. You show me how to do it, and I can do that shit.
That's true.
Shut up. Hell yeah.
Don't even start on that stupid ass music because they are. Yeah. And then Archive said, is she?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Andy.
I mean, I ain't want to break it down like that, but yeah.
Andy.
But they the ones that brought it in.
Right. Yeah. We ain't got no fucking planes. Right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, we barely got any pilots.
You bought it here, and then when we learn how to, you know, make a profit out of it and, you know, help feed our family and shit with it. Yeah. And most of the time we selling it to your brother and sister. Just saying. Because they the ones rolling up in their pretty cars with the tinted windows, rolling down the window, asking if you got one.
Listen, Archive said on the real freeway, Rick was illiterate but intelligent at the same. Man, listen.
Yep, absolutely. And so if Archive grew up with you, he knows my cousin. My cousin's doing 40 in the Fed because he actually, he was a kingpin in Philly.
Hold on. Alex said there's no scientific proof that Black and white people have different inherent cognitive abilities or ways of learning.
Lies.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, Alex, and if you get offended, I don't give a fuck, but fuck you. Because if it wasn't for us, white people wouldn't even know how to wash their ass or do math. We brought intellectual math and science to the world.
Yep.
That came out of these motherfuckers were living in caves. The Caucasus Mountains Look it up.
Right.
We taught them. That's why the Black Plague wiped out damn near half of Europe. And we came in and said, "What? Y'all don't use soap? Use soap." We tried to tell y'all to use washcloths, but y'all still don't got that down yet.
I don't use no
But
washcloth.
but at least y'all got soap now. We taught that shit.
But if
Wash
you don't
your ass,
use no
motherfucker.
rag, but if you don't use no rag,
So I mean, hey, if you offended, you offended. But if you want to know the truth, look up true history, and you will find out that yeah, if it wasn't for us, the world wouldn't know half the shit they do. And
stop looking
I
at
really,
watch
I
history.
really wish, I really wish we weren't so sharing, because if we'd have kept it to ourselves, we'd be running everything. But hey, that's what happened.
But see, the other thing is that you're believing that whitewashed history that they're now teaching, and you're thinking that we don't know anything. And you know what? Hey, go with that. But I tell you what, if we took all our inventions, if they said, okay, all the black people are gone from the earth and everything they invented, your ass would still be in a cave beating on your woman and dragging her with a damn club in your hand, because y'all were the original Neanderthals.
Well, I don't know
They were like,
what
oh,
Alex.
they were
I don't know what Alex is, so I'm not gonna put him in that group. All I'm just saying is that the caucus would be doing that.
okay.
Now they may be from somewhere else, but the caucus would be doing that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Archive said I had to teach a white chick how to wash her feet with soap.
See,
And the thing is, it's not hard to find. Listen, you can go
right?
on TikTok and Instagram right now and do a
You
quick
can go
search,
anyway.
and you're gonna see a whole lot of people.
Dirty ass feet.
Well, you're gonna see a whole lot of people doing podcasts and interviews talking about the fact and thinking that it's funny that we wash our hands when we use the restroom, or that we use rags to wash our body, or that we use different rags to wash our body and
That
a
they
different rag
stay
to
sick.
wash our
You
face.
should
Right.
at least have two. You should really have three, but at least have two washcloths.
Right.
But,
You don't
but
wash your ass with the same one you wash your face with.
Well, I don't use a
exactly.
rag on my face. I use my hands on my little face scrub and I sanitize that. Right. So, but I'm just saying, it's not hard to find this stuff. You can do a quick search on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and you will see a whole bunch of non-melanated people talking about the fact that they don't do these things and thinking it's funny and thinking it's weird that we do. Like, we're the ones that are fucked up. And so that's why I'm like, and I go back to what Gypsy said a few minutes ago. Most people have the I'm gonna put this word on it, 2 words actually. Most people have the privilege and the luxury to operate in their assumptions, because they don't do research to find out what actually happened in history. They believe the basic bullshit that we were taught. Columbus blue sailed, what Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, whatever that little bullshit ass rhyme they used to teach us when we were little. First of all, he didn't
Right.
discover shit. How can you discover something that somebody's already existing on and built a life on?
It's like they saying that they discovered your house that you live in.
That's what I'm about to say. I'm about to discover me a bunch of mansions.
Right. And then on top of that, the fact that even right now, we still have Christopher Columbus Day and Indigenous People Day. Like, how the fuck does this make sense? But that's proof positive that they don't let go. They will not change to update the correct history. They will leave racist ass statues all around town. But when we want to put a statue up, it's a fucking problem. I mean, it goes back to simple shit on Facebook. I'm in different Facebook groups, right? Because I like to observe people and kind of watch, pay attention to conversations. And I cannot tell you how many Black groups I'm in, Black women or Black relationship or Black singles or Black gardening or Black what the fuck ever. And it's always some goddamn body in there like, well, I just want to be in here and watch, but you ain't Black. Why the fuck do you want to be in this space?
Right.
Because when they have an
Because
all
you're a spy.
space, right, when they got an all white space, it's never a problem. But when we gather and we are hyping ourselves up and talking about how amazing we are, then it's like, well, why we can't be involved? Well, we don't care what you're doing, but we still want to be involved. Like it. Come on, make this shit make sense. Hold on.
Okay,
Alex
yeah,
said
that's
Europeans are from Caucasus Mountains, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens share a common ancestor.
Okay. And you could say that, but if you do your research,
Mhm.
so if you know where the Caucasians come from, they come from the Caucasus Mountains, and they are actually a mixture of the Anglos and the Saxons. That's why Caucasians are also known as Anglo-Saxons. So if
Mhm.
you know your history,
Right.
Alex, then you would know that yes, they came from the Caucasus Mountains. They separated off into two different tribes that then began warring against each other, but they could never win against each other. So they decided to become one tribe, and then that one tribe decided to try to take over the whole goddamn fucking world. So Alex, uh, look some shit up, quote some sources, and get back at me. But once again, fuck you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Hey,
just saying, I know my history, know
I'm
yours.
agreeing with you. That's why I was like, I ain't even got nothing to say since
Hey,
you was handling it.
you,
I'm
you,
with you.
you saw me, I was quiet.
Listen, you took it and
I'm just
I
saying.
was good because you was handling it. Wait a minute. Okay, Alex said Anglo-Saxon or Germanic, and not all Europeans are Anglo-Saxon. English are Anglo-Saxon.
Oh, did I
Uh-oh.
misspeak? Did I not say the Anglos and the Saxons
That's what he
warred
said.
against each other and did not win? They could neither one side could win, so they decided to join together to take over the whole world. And where did that come from? English and the Spaniards from Spain, not the Latina. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the English and the Spaniards who think they are. What do they think they are? Okay, but anyway, have
I'm
your
going to
fun.
take this opportunity to highlight the fact that it's 3 black faces on here.
You knew what you
Um,
were getting into when you brought your ass in here.
I'm just going to take the opportunity to highlight the fact that there are 3 black faces on here as the host. Most of the people in our comments have been able to identify with what we're saying, whatever they may be, whether they are in our culture and community or whether they just have a more open mind and a more broadened understanding based on accurate history. And Alex, I don't know what you are, and I don't want to make any assumptions, but I will say that this is a perfect example of what literally happens every day.
Right.
When we as Black people have a space, and this is open to everybody, right? I'm gonna always be upfront. I hold it down for mine. I'm gonna always ride for Black people, but I do talk to everybody, right? But this is safe space for us first and foremost. And I think that this is a great example of what happens every day, because when we all are having a space where we're dismantling some of the bullshit and pulling back the layers and talking about it so we can call it out and work past it as a community and highlight things for our people to take advantage of to heal. There's always somebody that's like, no, but. So, Alex, I'm
No,
going to ask you, is this the
no,
appropriate
no,
space
no,
for you
no,
to
no,
keep
no,
trying to prove your
no, no,
point?
no, 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 no.
Go ahead,
Let
Sean.
them come. Let
Okay.
them come.
Okay, so Alex said,
Uh-huh.
then the Normans took over the Saxons. And,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry,
Hold on.
archive said, then the Normans took over the
Wait.
Saxons. What?
Right.
And that is a great fact. Yes, the Normans. So that brought in a extra tastiness.
Tastiness. And then Alex said, French aren't Anglo-Saxons and took over the world. Spaniards are not Anglo-Saxon.
Now I mentioned the Spaniards. I didn't mention the French, but I did mention the Spaniards. If you recollect, Alex, I did say that. I did bring them in.
Google is
Now,
your friend.
now
Google
I didn't include the French, only because that's,
Google is your friend.
I don't know the best way to put it, but the French feel like they of that same ilk, and I use ilk specifically because
Okay.
they do.
I'll
They
read what.
no, hold on, wait, but
Hold on, Jesse.
they feel like that their skin tone provides them with such a luxury
Mhm.
that they can do whatever the fuck they want. And so I didn't include them. And the reason why I brought in this Spanish is because there is a certain mm, degree of Spanish because there are darker Spaniards that have olive colored skin that can't get the same play as those with that translucence.
Right.
Hmm?
So that's why I brought in the Spaniards. The French are generally trans, so they all included in that European bullshit. In my opinion, that's my opinion. Hey, take it how you want. I'm
Okay, so
done.
let me catch up on this. Hold on. Okay. Gypsy said the term Caucasian is also frequently used to describe white people, a name originating from the 18th century theory by Friedrich Blumenbach, who believed the ideal white race originated in the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia. While the term remains in common use today, most genetics show that white identity is a complex mix of these different ancient lineages rather than a single point of
Or
origin. Uh, the modern European gene pool is a patchwork of these three groups with proportions varying by region. Northern Europeans, the Estonians, the Lithuanians, typically have higher levels of hunter-gatherer and steppe ancestry. Southern Europeans are the Sardinians often retain more DNA from the early farmer. And Sean said, and it's free.
right.
Okay. Google is your friend. And again, this goes back to we base it off of what they taught us in school. We know that's inaccurate. We know that's limited. We know that's changed. And the it's bullshit. But
We
most
go
people
do
just go with
research.
that instead of digging deeper and actually doing the research and asking questions or reading more books than outside of that one Jermaine, right? And again, I go back to Alex. I don't know what you are, and I don't want to assume, but you're trying to prove a point. That's fine. Sean is okay going back and forth with you. Hey, have at it. But is this
Hey,
is this appropriate space for you to do that? Like, why is it when we have a space where we are, hey, black is beautiful, and we're doing that, there's always somebody that wants to come in and say, but it don't matter whether it's in the movies,
so
it don't matter whether it's in a restaurant, in real life, a podcast, whatever.
let
Which
me
to
let
me
me say
goes to
this.
show our power.
Let me say this. So Alex, I know it just seems like it's three niggas just on here talking shit, but we all are highly educated.
Facts.
Very.
So if you really want to come with your point, hit me with a thesis level paper
Come on.
about your point,
Right.
and we will gladly consider it. But let me say this: the Terminator and the Matrix was stolen from the same black woman.
Come on.
Right.
So if we could think like that just on pure, entertainment levels, what do you think we doing out here on a regular everyday? We wouldn't have fucking refrigerated anything as far as cargo traveling across this country if it wasn't for a black man. We wouldn't have ring cameras if it wasn't for a black woman.
Mhm.
Voicemail,
Kiss my ass.
3D
Get the fuck
cinematic
out of here.
experiences.
Cell phone.
That too.
So everything that's being named. That's what I said. There is nothing in today's world. Bluetooth.
Right.
The
Nothing in
shoes on
today's
our feet and how
world.
they were reproduced because they couldn't produce them fast enough to meet demand. A black man stepped in and improved the process. I can't think of his name, but a black man improved that process to be able to quickly replicate it and produce the shoes we needed with the stitching and all of those things. I mean,
Yep.
literally everything that we do in the convenience of our everyday life.
Let me just say this. It's gonna take you more than 28 days, 29 on a leap year, to really explore the contributions of Black people to this world.
Oh no, we need 368 days a year.
That's why I celebrate us all day, every day, baby. I don't care about no
just
fucking
try.
February. They can have it. I'ma always hype us up.
And you know, a year is only 365, but those 3 extra days just to try to get in that extra shit that we. Because if it wasn't for us, this shit wouldn't be here. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Alex said, y'all is tripping me out. Alex said, yes, it's the appropriate space. I want you to tell me why. Since you think it's appropriate, I'm asking a genuine question. Alex, since you think this is the appropriate space based on the question I asked you, now answer this question. Why? Why is this? Because hey, if you feel like you learning something, tell me what you learning. If you feel like you helping us, why do you feel like this is the appropriate space? Because I almost blocked you. I ain't gonna lie. I almost blocked you. Then I was like, no.
No, don't block.
Come with it. Come with it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I ain't gonna do it. Come with it. Sean said, no, this ain't the damn place. Go some damn where else. Archive said Black man created Super Soakers water guns and did. Black man created social media Black Planet and did. Right? I mean, you could do a quick Google search and find out so much of the shit that white people took credit for because we either couldn't get patents or they stole our idea, or because we were working as an employee in the company, it was the company's idea, right? But the shit wouldn't exist without a Black woman or a man that had the genius to create it or fix it or update it.
Let me break this down. So Ford didn't invent the car.
Come on.
Let me tell you. Ford was on some other shit like Rolls Royce. Before vehicles, they created generators to put power in people's home because we didn't have electricity like that, right? But because a Black man used parts thrown away, these weren't even parts that were going to be used. They were thrown away. And he fucking built a fucking engine that could run a vehicle. Ford said, oh, no, you use my shit. That's my shit. Now, granted, I understand that point of view. This is my company. That's my shit. You work for me, so that's my shit. But at the same time, that Black man got no love, no nothing. He was not mentioned whatsoever having anything to do with it. Ford was like, this is my shit. And you know who idolized Ford? Who had a bust of that nigga on his desk? Adolf Hitler.
So I refresh my drink because I'm with the shit tonight. Come on with it.
Y'all know I always be like, I'm tired. It's time to go, but I'm like, hey, let's go for it.
No. We can wrap this up. We can give Alex enough time. Like I said, I want a TT's level.
Listen, so Alexander Miles is
bullshit.
Hold up.
Listen, Alexander Miles is the guy that created the automatic elevator doors and eliminated manual doors that cause fatal accidents. Garrett Morgan invented the 3-position traffic signal with the warning phase. Okay. Marie Van Britten Brown invented the first home security system, cameras and monitoring. Frederick McKinley Jones, refrigerated trucks, you mentioned him, and transformed food transport from spoilage risk, global food distribution. Lewis Lattimore invented the carbon filament for light bulbs, and he took Edison's short-lived bulb, because you mentioned that, and made it long-lasting. Elijah McCoy invented the automatic lubricator for engines and eliminated the need to stop machinery all the time.
That's what it's saying. The real McCoy comes from. I didn't mention that, but that's where that comes. When they say I want the real McCoy, that's what that's it. Because him.
And the gas mask, was also invented by Garrett Morgan.
Yes,
and motherfuckers didn't want to use it because it was real, and then it saved lives. But hey, I don't know what I'm talking. But that's why I said, Alex, I need a thesis level.
Let's keep going. Otis Boykin improved electrical resistors and made electronics more stable, affordable, and reliable. And they are still today used in TVs, radios, and computers. If we talk about medicine, we could talk about Dr. Charles Drew.
Right.
He revolutionized blood storage and plasma preservation, turned emergency medicine into scalable, transportable, life-saving systems.
if it wasn't for him, niggas, man, well, let me say I don't want because y'all niggas black. No, when I say nigga, I mean everybody. People would be dead in the hundreds of thousands
Yo,
if
would.
it wasn't for the shit he did.
Y'all talking about the Red Cross? He was the Red Cross.
Yep. We could talk about that Dr. Patricia Bath. She took invasive eye surgery and made it precise, less painful, and vision restoring. The laser phaco probe is what she created. Yep. Okay. Everybody, because I done had LASIK, baby. So what? Thank you. Like
and
all
those,
these things.
And those of you who like to play golf, a golf tee was invented by a black man.
That if we talk
they don't understand.
That was a black woman.
Listen, if we talk about computers and tech in the digital world, we could talk about Mark Dean. He's the co-creator of the personal computer architecture. He helped move computing from niche to mainstream everyday tools. We could talk about James E. West, the foil electric microphone. He made microphones smaller, cheaper, and helped them to become mass produced to be everywhere. We could talk about Dr. Gladys Knight, the mathematical genius that helped create GPS and turn satellite data into precise location systems, what we use in our phones right now. Let's not also forget, forgive me because I can't call her name, but the woman that worked for, I believe, the either NASA or the Navy and helped create the designs for a lot of the naval ships.
Yeah.
I was just, forgive me because I can't call her name. I'll have to look her up again. But I was just reading up on her yesterday, right? And the thing is, she went to training and they ignored her. Wouldn't let her have an opportunity, put her on the night shift where she didn't have any babysitting help, had to bring a mama and her child to work, and she studied in her spare time when they wouldn't let her touch anything.
Her name was
Revolution. Ray Montague fucking revolutionized the whole system, and they implemented everything that she created.
And like I said, I also was one of those people who was one of those gender barrier, the gender breakers and things like that. That's why I'm a plank owner on the forest stall, because I was one of those gender breakers. But let's just listen. Let me just say this. We're fucking brilliant. We're brilliant people. We're brilliant people who don't get enough credit for being brilliant. And that's why they want to ban books.
Yeah.
That's why they want to ban, they want to rewrite history. That's why they want to dismantle some of these historical markers. Because if they figure if most of the people who were around when these things happen are dying now, and they're not telling their descendants about it, then they can just rewrite it and say, "Oh no, that's not how that happened."
They didn't do that.
Let
me keep going. Sean said, "I want that shit too." Thank you, Sean. Let me throw a few more out here because we can talk about Sarah Boone. She improved the ironing board and took flat surfaces and shaped tools for precision garment care. So a lot of that's probably used in the dry cleaning process now. We could talk about Alfred L. Crail or Crayley, one-handed ice cream scoop, made serving faster, cleaner, and commercially scalable. We could talk about John Lee Love. He created the portable pencil sharpener, and he took bulky sharpening and made it compact and personal use friendly. We could talk about agriculture.
Thomas Stewart with the mop.
Listen, hold on, Sean. We can talk about agriculture.
Hold on. Wait. With agriculture, I don't even want to get into that because them motherfuckers couldn't grow shit until they was taught by indigenous people. And you know where those indigenous people came from? They came from us.
Right.
Because while they were still in the Caucasus Mountains, we was traveling the world. That's why if you look it up, no matter what race, no matter where they're located at, there are black indigenous people at the beginning
absolutely
of their start. You can look up Japanese people, and you will see there were black Japanese clan. Like they were Japanese people, not Chinese, not Korean. They were Japanese.
Hold on 1 second, Sean. Hold on 1 second. You, Sean. Sean, he said, I love y'all, but I'll catch y'all next week. Got to hit the road. Be safe on the road in your travels and your work. And we definitely got to get you on screen with us. So I'm gonna message you, Sean, so you can catch up with us on screen in the episode.
Go back up to Alex's thing. Alex said, at no point did I say Black people aren't smart or greatly contributed to my modern science and technology. Listen.
And hold on. No. Hold on.
Black people, you be hot as hell because we got the air conditioner.
No. Let me address that. So, first and foremost, no one is saying that, Alex, that you said that. So I want to take that off to say nobody's saying that. And I'm really not trying to come at you. I'm just trying to have a healthy dialogue back and forth. And that's why I said I need a thesis level paper saying X, Y, and Z. Only because of the things that you said. I'm not trying to come at you. I'm not coming for you. I'm just only because of the things that you said. Okay, cool. Because I know what I've studied. But hey, if you know more information than I know, let me know. I'm very open to receiving your information. I'm not trying to slight you or come at you. I'm just telling you what I know. That's all I wanted to say.
Let me finish chewing my grape and then I'm gonna say something. Gypsy, go ahead and say what you were saying.
Listen, all I'm saying is that we did a lot of stuff, and like Sean said, they couldn't go shit because Benjamin Banneker, if he didn't get them the almanac to tell them when the damn plant shit, they would still be out here trying to figure out when to eat. But never mind. So we stop. You know.
I mean, but even if you go back to the origins of Thanksgiving,
yeah,
which they be very nice in the books, but honestly,
that
those
shit was a
motherfuckers came
massacre.
over here. They was starving. They couldn't eat. The fucking native people showed them, look, you eat this. They showed them how to barbecue. Like, yo, you do this, and you could throw some meat up on it and cook it real nice and slow. It'd be nice and savory. And then what did they do? They turned around and killed every fucking body.
So let me throw this in here, because Alex, you said, what did I say that you disagree with? So here's what I wanted to throw in. Going back to something Sean said a few minutes ago, we are not just rinky dink. You're talking to 3 highly educated Black people, highly experienced Black people that are walking the space in different lanes and also in the corporate environments, right?
Don't let the colorful language fool you.
Right. We may be colorful here and silly, but we know how to handle business. But let me throw this out here, because earlier you said that there was no, and I don't want to misquote you, so let me go back to the comment. Let's see.
I can tell you, Anglo-Saxons are Germanic, and not all Europeans are Anglo-Saxons.
Right.
English are Anglo-Saxons, but that was the one that did it for me.
And there is no scientific proof that Black people and white people have different inherent cognitive abilities.
That I ignored, because you could totally see, because even if you want to say that, I still ignored it, because at the end of the day, NFL, NBA, even in the NFL, the MLB, even if you want to get into soccer or football, as is known across the world, besides here in America, who's outperforming who? So I left that alone.
Yeah. But see, here's why I want to address that part of it, because that's been part of my field of expertise. Okay. So right now, I've already done a whole PhD program. I stopped in my dissertation 10 years ago, 11 years ago this year, which means I had already done graduate level education in psychology. By that point of finishing that master's degree, I had already been working with people for like 10 years. Okay. Then I got a master's. Then I went into a PhD program and I studied cognition and instruction. So how we learn, how we process information, how to design teaching materials, how to design information for people to synthesize it in ways that our brain can process, different learning styles, different personalities, and how that affects your learning style, right? So that was that PhD. I didn't finish because I took a medical sabbatical, but I went through all the coursework. Technically, I'm considered ABD, which means all but dissertation, because I stopped in the dissertation research process. But I had 5 years of research. Now I'm in another doctoral program, not a PhD. I'm in an EDD, education, right? So I'm literally doing research every day on how people learn, how people process information. I wanted to check that comment, and that's what kind of made me fall back and be like, man, I kind of checked out for a minute, because that's the thing that a lot of people try to say. But I'm gonna tell you, as an insider that has been in mental health in some form or fashion for almost 26 years, because I didn't start my career there, but it's been the highlight of most of my career in some form or fashion through education and hands-on experience. I've worked with addiction, I've worked with grief, I've worked with teens, I've worked with adults, I've worked with the elderly population, I've worked with almost any culture I can think of that I've come across here in the United States. You name it, I've probably heard it, because I was the person that put myself in the different experiences to work with people so I could learn. I'm fascinated by us, right? So when I say that from my perception, because I can't speak for everybody, the research is always skewed. So you can say there's nothing that backs it up, but the research is always skewed. The field was designed by coked out fucking white men. Okay, they were all crackheads. Okay, they were all fucked up. I don't give a fuck which one you point a dart at and shoot. They were all cracked out and coked up. Let's start there. And the field
Cracked
was
out and
based.
coked up. That's good. I'm about to make a big tape off that cracked out and coked up. Yeah.
So let's start there. Let's go back there first of all, because I respect the field, but it's got a lot of fault. Let's start there. And it was designed by white heterosexual men that took into account nothing else but their own bullshit. And if it didn't line up with the shit that made sense to them and made them feel normal, then it was abnormal, and they called it an illness. This is where we get the DSM from. And
But
most
you
of that stuff
also
in there is biased.
you also you gotta cut them some slack. I mean, because for
What?
400 years they was
Right.
processing slaves and seeing these niggas with these big ass
Right.
dicks, and they like, oh god damn, ain't no way I can measure up to that. So I'm gonna have, I gotta cut this nigga off at the D. I gotta make him less than what he worth. Cause if I try to put him out there as a man and he coming with all this and all I got is 3 inches of some bullshit
Oh my
when it's
God.
hard.
Okay, bye, Alex. Bye, archives. Handle the kids. Thank you for tuning in. We got to get you on here in the comments again, or get you on screen, whatever floats your boat, because
Now
we
yeah,
definitely
we can get him
appreciated
on
you.
the show. I'm gonna talk soon. We gonna get him on the show.
Yes, get them on the
Like I
screen. We
said,
love it.
that's
But
my best friend. That was my best friend growing up. We gonna get him on the show.
hey, we love it. So let me keep going so I can sum this up real quick and jump off of this. That being said, first of all, let's again base. They were all cracked out and coked up. Second, they were all uh, uh, from what we know, heterosexual, cis heterosexual white men. Now, all of them want that either, but we're going to say that because that's what they said. Okay.
Right.
Then you look at, they erased everything about anybody that was different and said, if you don't line up right here, you're abnormal, which is where we get the DSM from. And we still know right now, 2026, even though we don't have all these new updated editions, the DSM is still fallible, flawed, and biased. That being said, now let's talk about cognition, how we process information. Most of these tests are not made for any culture other than white. Most of these tests have inherent bias. So now you're going through a school system that is testing you on a biased basis. This is why Black people, people of color, and especially Black women are often late diagnosed with any type of neurodiversity or learning disability, right? Or ADHD, or whatever you want to call any of it. This is why we are diagnosed at higher rates for bipolar, schizophrenia, and mental illness, when half the time it is not fucking that. But people still won't dig deep enough to ask questions and understand
Right.
what's going on with cultural nuance and spiritual nuance and nuance and religious nuance in order to really figure out what's going on with a person. So they throw medicine at them, drug them up, and then say, you crazy, let's commit you. So, Alex, This is why I was asking you, was this space appropriate for where you were trying to take the conversation? Because one, we're all highly educated. Two, this is my field of expertise. So I can go back and forth with you and break it down and pull out some research and some studies, but I don't want to do that because to me, that takes away from the comfortable conversation environment that we really try to create for people to ask questions and discuss stuff and build context for all of us to learn and grow.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
why I
leave it there.
said for Alex, I needed a dissertation level response only
Right.
because we don't know where they're coming from, and so I want to
Yeah.
leave room because I do want, like, hey, if you have a truly educated response, fine. I don't have no problem with that. Look, I love engaging. Teach me something. I don't have no problem with that. But don't come at me saying, "Oh, well, because they were Germanic." No, they were. If you really understand where the Anglos and Saxons came from, there would be no Roman Empire without the Anglo-Saxons. There would be no Britannia without the Anglo-Saxons. And that's only because yes, Normandy came in, and things that, but these things would not exist without that because the Anglos and Saxons came way before anything else. The only thing that was before them was Pompeii, but we all know what happened to Pompeii.
Right.
Also, I will highlight the fact that you said those things as we were talking earlier about trauma and different things. You said that they can be changed by having safe space and some other things. That's a very dismissive comment and it minimizes the depth of trauma that people in Black bodies really do experience and carry around, both from generational and from current, right? And so this is why I feel like when you come into this space, any space where this type of conversation is having and is taking place rather, and no matter what your background or your culture, you have to come in with cultural awareness and compassion. Because something makes sense to you from your lens does not mean that it's that way across the world or across the community or across the whatever. And this is why a lot of spaces are so harmful to Black people, because people say, oh, just come on in and let your hair down and put your baggage on the table and let us help you. But it dismisses the very context of some of the experiences that we have. It dismisses the culture that we experience every day. It dismisses the fact that we right now, those of us in the US, are living in a country that still refuses to fucking acknowledge the bullshit that it's done. And every day runs propaganda that continues to try to put us in our place and minimize us and force us to be smaller. So again, that's why I go back to saying, is this the appropriate place for you to ask the questions? And if you feel like they are, then create a more nuanced conversation where maybe you're asking us things instead of trying to tell us things in a space that is about
Right.
us. That's
Right.
my perspective on that. I'm not saying I'm
Yes.
right, but that is my perspective on that. When you enter in this kind of space, maybe it's better to ask questions, share what you feel like you can share, but ask questions so that you can learn instead of just feeling like you got to educate us and tell us about us. Gypsy, you
I
said
want
FUBU, for us, by us.
you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why FUBU was invented, because it's for us, by us. And these kind of spaces. So let me tell you a little bit of history of how we all got together. Because one of the things is that we realized that there was a space for middle-aged white people. There's space for middle-aged white men, white women. But there was not a space for middle-aged Black people. And most of us are also bridging the gap. Now, if you didn't catch us earlier, you would know that I had just lost my dad. But so most of us are bridging the gap between parents and children, and trying to be multi-generational households and things like that. And so that's where the term game comes in too. That's the one that Sean and I were working on. We were trying to get it started, but we actually dedicate more time to this. But it's
Because we're amazing together.
We are, but it's, you know, that's the whole thing, is that we invented a space for us, and to be dismissive is just kind of insulting.
Yeah. So Alex responded.
Explain the choices for you.
Alex said, I heard the early conversation and share many of your experiences. And so that, again, to me, I'm not saying I'm right, but this is how I feel. Alex, if that's the case, then that's what you lead with. In this type of space, that's what you lead with. You lead with, hey, I want to learn. Hey, I think I have some common experiences. Hey, I want to better understand context, because even if you have similar experiences, if you're not in a Black body, even if you're in a colored body, if you're not in a Black body, then the experience is still different, right? Even if you grew up near Black people and got Black best friends, if you are not Black, the experience is still different.
Even if
And
you
again, I'm
married
not
a Black
No,
person,
no. I'm not putting no constraints on nothing. And the reason being is because I want to know how you feel.
that's why I said ask questions, talk with us,
No, no,
engage.
no, 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 no. How you feel? You feel a certain way? Express that. Then we can get into, okay, well, you feel that way, but let me say X, Y, and Z. Because that's what fosters a conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just cut you off like, oh, you not Black, you don't understand. I'm not going to cut you off. Because although you not Black, you may have also experienced some of the same shit that we experienced, because you're not whatever they want you to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you may still have experienced some shit, and I'm not going to put it past you. I'm very open minded. I'm very open, and that don't mean I'm going to agree with you, but at the same time I'm going to fucking listen to you. I'm not just some fucking asshole like most of these motherfucking assholes that won't fucking listen to you and just cut you the
You
fuck
said that
off,
was your chest. All right.
because that's how most bigots act.
Yep.
They're just straight up ass. So they're not gonna listen to shit you guys, because they don't give a fuck. Because this is how it is. Because
Yep.
I'm just, and that's what it is.
Well, that's why I said I'm not saying I will never just be like I'm right all the time, but I do feel that, again, what I said. That's why I said, hey, come in and ask questions. To me, the comment about will just create safe space is very dismissive. It's not that easy for Black people to just create safe space. And a lot of the safe spaces that are created are not, in fact, safe for us. So that
And
comment,
that,
right? And that's why I'm just using it as an example. Now, that
no,
may
no,
not
I
have been
understand.
Alex's intent,
No,
but
that's a great
it
example.
comes across that way. And that's why I'm saying, hey, Alex, listen, my first instinct, if you want to talk about safe space, my first instinct was to be like, fuck Alex, blah. But I said no, because in order for conversation to grow, in order for shared learning to happen,
You
right?
gotta
So I
have it.
kept going.
Exactly.
I
right?
moved past my trauma response and kept going. But I'm also very clear on, hey, Alex, for me, if you're asking what turned me off, it was that. Because if you enter into a space that's not necessarily yours, or even if you Black and it's a new space, right? You haven't been here with us before. You're a new watcher. And I appreciate
Right.
you for tuning in and sticking through it and communicating. But to me, this is such a layered conversation. It's such an emotional conversation when you're talking about Black trauma, when you're talking about boundaries, when you're talking about not giving people access if they hurt you, all the things that we started off talking about and
Right.
ended through tonight. To me, it's more helpful to say, hey guys, this comment, I share some of your experiences. Start there. Ask questions. Don't dismiss what's being said because you don't understand or you don't agree. And even with the educational comment, to me, it was no point in saying it because nobody had said that. But since you went there and put it out there, that's why I came back and said, well, let me break this down as somebody who has spent years researching and looking at the evidence and reading journals and articles and interviewing people and surveying people and all the things and looking at the DSM and the diagnostics and the assessments and all the things. Like, yeah, there's some evidence there. They just don't talk about it, right? So again, that's my stick. That's my stick.
And I feel you on that, and I do agree with you, but at the same time, I don't, because at the same time, I'm like, I wanna hear you out. No matter what, I don't give a fuck if you like fuck you, nigga, you jigaboo. I still wanna hear you out because I wanna hear where you coming from,
Yeah.
so I can know how to rightfully respond. And just to add insult to injury, a black man created Jack Daniels. If y'all didn't know, so y'all can continue to sit there and think that Jack Daniels was something that was created by somebody else. And if you want even more information, the motherfucker that created it, they have a liquor, it's called Uncle Nearest.
Uncle
Go ahead
Nearest.
and go ahead and buy that. It's very good, very tasteful. It's
You know what
even
the
better.
crazy part is, Sean? To that, like the crazy part, even though publicly it's not as widely acknowledged and celebrated and held yet, because you're still making the rounds with Uncle Nearest and all this stuff. If you go to so we went to the Jack Daniels distillery and took a tour and did their tasting on all they actually acknowledge it. And honestly, the original descendants of Uncle Nearest family, and forgive me, I can't call his name off the top of my head, but everybody knows him as Uncle Nearest.
Well, Alex, thank you, Alex. That's
Nathan Green. Yes, thank you so much, Nathan Green. His original descendants and Jack Daniels' original descendants all still work together in the company and run it. So I'm like, but it's not widely known and celebrated, right? Even though they acknowledge it internally, it's not part of their promo all the time. It's not part of their marketing all the time. And that still goes back to show you, like, they'll give us a little credit, but they still gonna stand up and try to shine and rain they parade on top of every fucking thing and take credit for everything. And then behind closed doors, they'll be like, hey, you're gonna give them their props. That to me is mind-boggling. So thank you for that. Yes, his name was Nathan Green, and you said you know your Black history. Well, glad you do. Just be more nuanced with it, and be more mindful when you enter into conversations that Black people are intentionally holding. That's all I'm saying. Because now I'm like, Alex, you cool. I want you to come back every week. But see, it took us a minute to get here because how you started coming in was a little abrasive to me, and I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
And that's why I say I like conversation. I mean, because I know me. I'm abrasive as a motherfucker. I could say some shit. It could be us having the kind. I could say some shit that's gonna be abrasive.
Well,
But
see, here's why I'm like this right
let's
here, Sean.
talk through it.
Because all day in the corporate spaces that I operate in, when I'm in those spaces, I got the smile. We code switch. You understand, right? I got the smile on. I got the mask in place. I got the and the nods, and I'm gonna hear you out, even though I want to snap your fucking head off because you just said something crazy as hell to me. And I'm gonna shake your hand and I'm gonna keep it moving because I understand this is just but a mere moment in the legacy that I choose to create, and I will not give you the power to destroy it. In that space, fine. And this space is more personal and we have more control. And so that's why I'm very mindful of I will not code switch in this space anymore. Because if y'all go back to when we first started, I still had the mask on. I was still code switching a lot. And finally, I just said, fuck it. There is no point in me building a space that I run and collab with people on if I'm not going to be in full control and just be my damn self, right? And
I feel you.
Two different spaces.
And that's the thing. I don't code switch. Every day I'm like, I need to start me a GoFundMe because I'm gonna get fired any day. Because I don't code switch.
I used to code switch too.
That shit be pissing them the fuck off.
Yeah.
And they be pissed the fuck off because like what? No. That's what? What are you? What? No. Oh well, you're not a company player. A company player. That.
For 4 of the last 5 years, I've been the only woman. And then all 5 years, I've still been the only Black person in my department, in my division, where I'm, yeah. And I do highly technical work.
Yeah.
But it's just, and every now and then especially when I get a new person that comes across me, they like to question my skill set until I run circles around them. And then it's like, you might want to sit your ass down.
You know,
I'm near retirement age now. I'm at don't give a fuck age. Because I've actually got enough years, and next May I got enough age. But if you fuck with me this May, I might gone out. Look, I might gone out on the mental health.
Okay.
So you might want to fuck with me.
Listen, this is why I need to marry a rich man, so I can go on and stop dealing with this bullshit and just live my life and build a farm and be good, right? And but this is why I'm so protective of this space, right? Because my business runs on being able to navigate those spaces. And yeah, a lot of times I'm the only Black face in the room. A lot of the times, even if there's a couple of women, I'm the only Black woman in the room. Sometimes I've been the only woman in the room, and I'm a beast at what I do. Now I'm dysfunctional as fuck in my personal space because I'm human.
Right.
But I'm a beast at what I do, right? I done been in Puerto Rico and been in a room full of 50 plus people that only 5 people spoke English. And I still did a whole 7-hour training with a translator and walked out of there with everybody smiling and thanking me and giving me kudos for helping them understand, because it was a leadership training. You know what I'm saying? I done been in Alaska working with tribes and doing training and HR and sexual harassment training and all kind of things where they were having to translate some of their things for me. What we call it from the front of the room. I'm in the middle of it, having to turn it on the hill and make shit work, right? I'm good at what I do. And yet and still, there's always gonna be that person that looks at me, because I got my little braids now, but y'all know I usually have a red mohawk or a blonde mohawk, right? I keep my nails done. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I got tattoos. I'm not gonna cover it up. This is me. I have my ears pierced. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not your typical corporate trainer. So when I walk in a room, you can see it on their face and they're like, the fuck she finna do? And then when I start talking and telling them what I've done, I've worked with $1 million properties from ground to build all the way through to manage the project. I've worked on multi-million-dollar projects to project management. I've worked with corporations to help them change their bottom line and increase ROI and overhaul their administrative processes and their hiring processes. I've worked with them to overhaul their interviewing processes and done leadership trainings and executive coaching with their top teams and CEOs and owners. I've done all this shit. But there's still gonna be that person that look at me and be like, she ghetto. Bitch, I'll be ghetto. You can call me bougie and ghetto, but I'm still highly educated and fucking lethal at what I do, right? So that's why with this space, I'm ultra protective, because so many times we are forced to code switch and mask up in different situations to coexist. Let me be real honest right here and not fucking snap and let the rage out that we constantly wake up feeling. Okay.
And the thing is,
so in this space, I'm ultra protective.
But see, that's the thing, is we can have that same disagreement point as a person, but we are considered hostile or aggressive, or she's aggressive or whatever. No. And actually, a lot of times when I correct people, first of all, our job is very critical. So when I correct people and stuff, well, it was your tone. Fuck you.
So, because we are melanated, we are always fucking aggressive, and especially black women, because that's a whole nother conversation. But just because the whole welfare state and what they had to do to make that a thing, that's a whole nother conversation. So, but yeah, we're always just, we are too much when we actually aren't enough.
But that's the same thing about the whole thing. It brings it back full circle, what you just said, Sean. The whole topic of tonight. You don't deserve me just because you want me. You want me in your space, but you want me in your space on your terms. No. Absolutely not.
That.
Side note, niggas, if you out here throwing Thanos dick, don't take no bullshit.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, with that being said, y'all ignore my cues. I'm not a great. I done ran out of snack food. It's time to go.
It's time to wrap it up.
And look, Sean over here rubbing his beard like he in his Barry White era, trying to be all sexy chocolate.
I ain't got no deep. I ain't got no deep voice like that. I'm just,
Sean was over here sending his signals to the ladies like, "Hey,
Pendergrass, turn off the lights."
If I had that Barry White voice, oh my God, shit, I'd be dangerous.
Listen,
Alex, we'll see you next week. Bring the shit.
Can I tell y'all something for real? I love my caramel skin. Like, I'm like Peppy the Pewless skunk. Love myself. But I believe God is whatever is out there new. Don't make me dark skinned, because bitch, I would have been lethal. Do you hear me? Like, when I see beautiful, God damn it. Listen, when I see chocolate black women, I be like, do you know how gorgeous you are? Oh my, like, I am in love with black skin. Y'all couldn't tell me shit if I was darker skinned and had a bigger ass. Listen, one better tell me shit. First of all, you can't tell me shit now. But if I was more chocolate and had a little bit more ass,
oh, she'd be deadly.
Because when I be seeing these gorgeous chocolate women, and I'm like, girl, do you know how gorgeous you are?
Okay, my baby's it's time to go.
Listen,
fuck
ladies,
that baby. No, let's go.
Y'all beautiful, from the butter pecan to the chocolate deluxe.
Listen, look yourself in the mirror and say, I is beautiful, I is powerful, I is divine. Okay?
Tell them about it.
And fellas, if y'all like that vanilla bean, hey, do you? I'm just saying, that butter pecan to that chocolate deluxe ain't nothing like it, baby.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, because I'm caramel and I love me. But listen, if I had been a little bit more chocolatey, child, please. Anywho, make sure that you hit them buttons, the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. Make sure that you tell your people, because I am thoroughly convinced, baby, if you're not telling your people about us, you don't really like them. That's all I'm saying. And make sure that you tune in next week. We are going to be talking some more shit, throwing back some more sips, and engaging like we do. And we will be sharing Gypsy's dad's memorial video. It's already on the channel if you want to watch it, but we're putting the whole thing together so you'll be able to tune into that just to give her dad some love and honor for all he did for our country, and the amazingness that he was. But with that, we bid you adieu.
Bye-bye, Bentley.
Bye-bye, Bentley. What did Tevin Campbell say, y'all? Audi 5000.